Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of Super Rugby Pacific. This one at AAMI Park, Rebels taking on the Reds. And it should be a very interesting fixture because the last game that we saw between the Crusaders and the Blues, it was extremely close. And if this game is anything like that one, should be an absolute cracker as well. But we will look through at the way that the table is sitting. I will mention this is not updated because the Blues, they have moved themselves into number one. I got the heat pump going at the moment. I will turn that off though. Maybe. No. Maybe not. No, still no. It's going to happen soon. Okay. Can't find the button. That's all right. We'll leave it on just for now. But I hope you guys are all doing well. The Blues currently sitting there in second on the table, but now they are actually first. They went above the Brumbies with their big win over the Crusaders. So that will help them out. But the Reds, if they win this game, they will actually have the potential of going above the Crusaders, which would be absolutely huge for the Reds as well. But now looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides, the Rebels we will start with as they are the home side. Gibbon, Hansen, and Koba Seeloff will be there as the front row. Then from there, Matt Phillip alongside of Josh Hill slotting in there at number 5. And then Michael Wells, Tamati Ioane, and Richard Hardwick. They will be the loose ball trio. Tuttle and Matt Tamua making up the 9-10. Alongside that, Stacey Ely, Andrew Callaway actually gets a slot in at number 13. It will be very interesting to see how he goes there. George Worth, Len Vaihu, and then a research there. So close to Easter. It is indeed an IQ later. I think the man of the match of the Blues vs Crusaders game belongs to the Blues captain, Dalton Papali. He was everywhere in that game. He even risked his own hand to stop the Crusaders' try. And that's the thing. If the Crusaders won, a player who I definitely was giving it to was the young number 5, Zach Gallagher. He was phenomenal in that game also. And to be honest to say, this play with 13 men at one point, the Blues should have won by lots more, says Izzy. Yeah, and also we've got the England captain, Joe Root, stood down as test captain, says, I did see that. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, that's the thing. If they start losing their games though, like, I feel like they're going to be like, oh, so it wasn't Joe Root. There was a slight problem there. So hopefully it does end up turning a new leaf for the English cricket side. But these are the players for the Reds in this match. Fortuaka, Asiata, and also Nungor as the front row there. Ryan Smith and Angus Blythe. Then alongside them, Connor Vest at 6, Harry Wilson at 8, and Fraser McRae at number 7. Tate McDermott, James O'Connor, very good 9-10 combo to have. Hamish Stewart, Hunter Paisami as a 12-13, and then Vuni Valu returns into the lineup. Filippo Dalgunu and Jordan Pataya there. So a very good lineup there for the Reds away from home for this game. If only Sevu Reece was on the wingman in there, or if only Sevu was on the wingman, says Izzy, for that one going for the corner here. Although I guess the reason it opened up so much was because he wasn't out there on the wing. They match up, and I can't be bothered doing the Super Rugby. And then that try saver right at the end was brilliant. If Crusaders had scored a try, then they would have won. And also, who do you think will be their new test captain? For me, I feel like if Stokes want it, they'll probably give it to Stokes. If not, maybe, I mean, Butler might be too aggressive in the way that he uses it, though. So it's a tricky one. I'm trying to think of senior players. Maybe you give it to Broad or Anderson, maybe Stuart Broad, but we saw what happened when you gave it to a bowler for Australia type thing, and it will take a little bit more time to adjust, and will he be around for long enough to really see those adjustments made? So it's a tricky one for them. Greetings from Alamati, and there says, Tom, welcome into the live stream, mate. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you are excited for another game of rugby, this one between the Reds and the Rebels. And currently looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides, I think for me, I mean, Koba Seeloff, he has been absolutely sensational throughout this season. And Johnny Bairstow is an option. Are you picking him as more of a batter than a keeper, though, I assume? So you'd have him probably 5 or 6, somewhere around there, somewhere in the middle order. Because I know that Joe Root, he's still in the side, isn't he? He's just not going to be the captain kind of thing. But Bairstow, I think he'd be quite an aggressive man with the captaincy, which might be what England need to be able to really get themselves some wins in a row. But Angus Gardner now, he will be in charge of this one. Nick Berry in there as the assistant referee for this matchup. But for me, I mentioned about Koba Seeloff. I'm also going to say, man, who is so important will be Andrew Callaway in that midfield. He's been a little bit quiet in the last few games. But then for me, also for the Reds, you've got Harry Wilson, number 8. And then you've got Vuni Valu returning in his channel. It's called Kiwi Lads. Where is the other lads? Or where is your other lads in there? Says, I'm we. And that one. So pretty much at the moment, I believe all of them might actually almost be sleeping at this current point in time. But there are 4 of us who we do have occasionally popping in. One of them's only been on the channel twice, I believe, in the past. And they sometimes here Says Patty, and also, yes, mate, vodka mix. Here is awesome. Says Tom, but now Harry Wilson gets that ball for the Reds just out from the opposition 22, trying to hang on to this one. It's a penalty. Straight away, they'll be able to take the 3 if they want it. But do they want it? That is a big question. Straight away, unfortunately, Matt Gibbon getting penalised for that one. Wasn't quite able to roll away in time. Or was it Matt Gibbon? No, it might have actually been James Hansen there. No, it was a combination of the two. Hansen went on the ball. Gibbon was unable to roll away. Okay, thanks. And there as well. But yeah, we have got 4 of us. Myself, George, who's probably on the channel the second most, then Isaac, who's on here occasionally and also does a little bit of the behind the scenes kind of, I guess you could say, like graphic design. And then Daniel, who has been in 2 videos. But we're hoping to improve that very soon. I think the Reds will beat the Rebels. By the way, how's your Easter been? It's been good so far. I haven't actually indulged in any chocolate as of yet. But I'll probably end up having that after the 7s live stream just to keep me awake for the day, because I believe after we finish through to, I think we're going 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. on the Sunday night / Monday morning. And then from there, it is actually going to be another day of filming. Well, that sounds of it. And also just finished drawing. Like you lads. Says Lennox, welcome into the live stream. I hope you are doing well. James O'Connor's got that kick over. And now it is going to be 3-0 in favour of the Reds. And also 3:45 p.m. here and Friday in Almaty. Says Tom. So yeah, you guys are a little bit behind, aren't you? Overall by about 6 hours, I want to say, compared to us. Which isn't actually too bad. It just means that you do get afternoon rugby rather than, I guess, nighttime rugby, which would actually be quite nice. Over now, Brad Fawn, he's looking disappointed. I know that he's been rumoured for whether or not he might actually be stepping up as the Australian coach for the Wallabies. Taken nicely on the 22 there. And drew him backwards very nicely, Connor Vest. And Dozen was unreal. Bodie torched us. And there, as says Lennox, yeah, they had 2 players in particular that just went absolutely sensationally. Someone who didn't have a great game, unfortunately, Stephen Petafeta, who normally is pretty awesome all around the park, but he just seemed to struggle for this game. Try and find his momentum. That's been kicked downfield now up to Resodge. Great take in the air. He is dragged down by it is Asiata. Now going back across Tamati Ioane. Big man. Huge man, in fact. And yes, but Barrett. And there, as I said, Paddy Wagon. Now it's going to be Matt Phillip dropping his head. 40 metres out for the line. The Rebels looking to start this match quickly. It's going to be a grubber in behind. Resodge trying to chase after it. Taken almost by Jordan Patai. That's actually been taken back. So he cannot afford to get this one wrong. Great low tackle from Resodge. They're only a few metres out from the line. And the Rebels almost able to turn it over. But unable to do so. I believe, yes, it was once again Matt Gibbon who was almost on the ball. I was looking for the turnover. But next week, we do get to see New Zealand sides taking on Australian sides, which is going to be absolutely awesome to see how it does end up going at the moment. Tate McDermott just rolling that ball back. Does kick it up high. It's close to the touchline. Taken nicely by, I believe it would have been, instead of, it's actually Vaihu out on the one wing and George Worth out on the other. They've gone with Callaway in the midfield for this one now. Now passing it back across Matamua off to Phillip with the pop pass up to Stacey Ely. Makes an extra meter, but the Reds, they are looking very good on defence currently, not allowing the Rebels to get any extra meterage. And that's gone out. Not a good kick. And no wonder the Crusaders lost, but it was definitely close, and the Blues stood tall right until the end. Yeah, that last tackle, like it could have been a try for Dom Gardner, but he just didn't quite have the acceleration, and muscling up in that one, it was Rico Ioane and Dalton Papali. Both had to make a huge hit to be able to keep the opportunity alive for the Blues to win. And it was actually their first win in 14 matches at home up against the Crusaders, which was huge for them because the Crusaders now this season, they've lost to the Chiefs at home. They've lost to the Blues at home. They almost lost to the Highlanders at home. They only missed out by about 3 points there. And Moana Pacifica gave them a good fight at Orange Theory Stadium. So I think the fortress of Orange Theory Stadium is slowly losing a little bit of that kind of real Crusaders winning mentality. And I think that's going to be a big moment for them. Yes, James says when fun begins next week, when the Kiwi teams bring the Aussies back down to Savvy Sosa and also Suniasi Vunuvalu, my MVP. Says Jason, yeah, he's a very good player going through nicely, Gibbon, with a good run. I mean, he may have given away a penalty earlier on, but he's certainly been busy throughout the early stages. Stacey Ely, good crash ball straight at Fraser McWright, though, a hard man to go straight through. And a low ball, says Gareth, I'm looking around for Cobus Eloff. Here's another player who often gets himself involved. Andrew Callaway Good run forward. Oh, he's offloaded it straight up to Filippo Taugunu. Forward pass into the hands of McDermott. And they are going to be going back for the initial scrum. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, of the Champions Cup games, which game are you looking forward to the most as well? I know that tonight we have got 3 matches, or in fact 2 matches that are taking place tonight. Leinster versus Connacht, the second leg, where the aggregate is actually only 5 points in favour of Leinster. And then the other game is Bristol versus Sale, where the aggregate is only 1 point in favour of Bristol, who have a home game at Ashton Gate. And then later on in the night, it will be Harlequins versus Montpellier. And that's going to have to be a big fight back from the Quins if they do want a chance of being able to make it through to the quarterfinals. Then following those games on Sunday, it's La Rochelle versus Bordeaux, Munster versus Exeter. I believe we might be able to squeeze that game in on the Sunday as well for anyone who is curious about that one. Leicester versus Clermont, Ulster versus Toulouse, and then Racing 92 versus Stade Francais. That is going to be the latest game of the Champions Cup round of 16. And hello on High Horse, there's Jane. Welcome back, mate. Hope you are doing well. Who are you picking for this game? Are you going the Reds? Who are heavy favourites going into this game, but not actually as heavy favourites as they could have been. I think they're only about maybe $3 underdogs, the Rebels, which is actually very impressive for them. But it just shows that they are starting to play some very good rugby. Let's ask the front rows here. Cobus Eloff, he will be up against Fotuaika for this battle at scrum time. That's not going to be an easy one for either men or either side. And this one also, but now scrum feed going in for the Rebels Reds, bro. And there's Shane. The ball is fed in by, it was just available for Tuttle, only just though. It was a good push from the Reds. Now flat ball off to Andrew Callaway. I'm liking him in outside centre already. We've already seen him carry more metres in this game than we did for the past 3 weeks that he's been back. Tamati Ioane now driving up, but he was tackled by McBride and O'Connor, who's getting spun around by one of the defenders at the moment. Matt Tamua once again going for the kick in behind. I mean, I understand it, but I also don't understand it at the same time, because now it's going to be a counter-attack for the Reds, and they kick it way back downfield. Massive boot from McDermott, and the Rebels lose about 30, if not maybe more than that, metres by the time they regather that. In fact, you'd almost argue they've lost about 80 metres now that the Reds have been able to get this ball back on the halfway line. Jordan Pattaya going for the 50-22. He's got a bit on it. It's too much on it. And now it's going back to the halfway line. So a bit of luck for the Rebels. I don't understand the kicking away the ball tactic. You've got Vunivalu, Dalgunu, Jordan Pattaya all in the back waiting for that ball. And you give it to them. They're going to run, and they're going to run it hard. It's probably very lucky for Stacey Ely that that ball did find touch, or else it would have been a 50-22 favour of the Reds. And also, it was definitely a good Friday night for the Blues to exercise some demons in Christchurch, says Sammy Sosa. Yeah, it was a big win for them, and now they actually sit top of the table now for the Blues, which will give them a lot of confidence. Their next game is going to be up against the Fijian Drua. That is taking place next weekend. I will actually get all of those fixtures up for you guys so you can see exactly, or you can hear exactly who is going to be playing who in a very short moment. But now big run forward from Matt Phillip. The Rebels for this game, they need to make sure they stay in this one as long as physically possible. Matt Tamua now off to Stacey Ely, backline movement, resource flat ball out into the hands of George Worth, relatively flat, and also the Easter Bunny has said Happy Easter in there as well. Close to that one being, but yeah, Happy Easter to you. That's going to be going back for the initial penalty to the Rebels. Unfortunately, I think they'll take the 3 here, and it could be their downfall. And Gary Wilson just penalised there. I'm back as well, says Betty. Welcome back, mate. The next week's games that we are going to get to see, it will be the Chiefs versus the Waratahs and Moana Pacifica versus Western Force. Those are the 2 games on the Friday night. Then Saturday night, we are acquainted with the match between the Blues and the Fijian Drua and Hurricanes and the Reds. So 2 big games there. And then after that, we have got the 2 games on Sunday. Highlanders, Brumbies, and Crusaders and the Rebels is actually the last game of the weekend. Also, I may end up in hospital tonight, so that does not sound too good for yourself. But be sure that if you do have the symptoms that you think are serious enough, do make the call, because you're better off making it and not needing it than not making it and needing it. But now from the angle, Reece Hodge will be kicking this one. I like the fact that they've gone with Hodge rather than Matt Tamua. Probability, 67%. And yes, of course, the Blues are also the first Kiwi team to face the Drua. So in a good way, it seems, or see how the Fijian Drua boys measure up against tough opposition after experiencing the Aussies. And I tested positive in there, says Shane. Yeah, you did mention the fact that you had a positive case. So that was why you weren't able to go to the zoo, wasn't it? And the zoo is not a reference to like a place with animals, although I guess some people would call some of them animals, but it is the zoo as in the Highlanders versus Hurricanes Forsyth Bar one. That's missed from Reece Hodge. And I once again wonder why. Why go for the kick? But now it's going to be Andrew Kellaway with a good run forward, 35 metres out for the line. And that's definitely not good. There's Sammy Sosa there. A good run forward from Matt Phillip. He's been impressive throughout the early stages of this match. Now passing it back across, it will be Tuttle. Quick hands out to Stacey Ely. Good ball on the outside to Mighty Ioane, or Tamati Ioane, I should say. Or Tamati. I always end up saying Tamaiti because of Tamaiti Williams for the Crusaders. Dalgunu gets on the ball, but the Rebels have got this one on the halfway line. I bet you they kick it very soon. It's going to be a good run forward from James Hansen, but not able to make a huge amount of meterage for that one. And now they roll it back, and the Rebels kick it again. It has gone high. Up in the air, George Worth chasing after it, and the ball is straight back in the hands of the Reds. And if you're going to kick it, you've got to mark up the counter-attack. And Jordan Pataya has just made an extra like 30 metres penalty to the Rebels at that stage. Interesting tactics. Overall, I think I say about the tactics every week, but Super Rugby, I don't think is a competition you can afford to keep on kicking the ball back to your opposition. Jordan Pataya beat 4 defenders and got them an extra 30 metres with that run. That was only from that brilliant work and the breakdown from, I believe it was Matt Tamua, that they were able to get that ball back. But it's going to be a risky tactic because unless that kicking is completely accurate, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Only now the Rebels, they will be able to kick this one for the touchline. Luckily, they were about 65 metres out, so no chance of Reece Hodge kicking that one. And I feel like, can you please post, I'm a new member? And there, as I says, Shane, can you please post, I'm a new member? I think from earlier on, I think we put it up on the screen earlier, but it has still got it for this one as well. So we can put it up for you for a little bit of time. Be sure to use some of those emojis as well. We haven't seen any of those coming through yet. So be sure to use those ones. Currently now, Glenn Vai, almost rolling his ankle on the 22 there, which is not what you want, but it's a good kick back downfield, doesn't find touch. And now it's going to be available for Jordan Pataya. Once again, go for a bit of a counter-attack. He's tackled low. Great low tackle from the Rebels. 2 men, 1 for each leg. Still available. Hunter Paisami, that was forward. And now it will be going back for the initial scrum in favour of the Rebels from 40 metres out. Hunter Paisami just getting the pop pass a little bit wrong there. Trying to get it up to Harry Wilson, who was an absolute unit of an individual when he gets a bit of space. But it was great tackle from Mavaihu and also Tuttle, who were able to take it down nicely. And thanks, bro. There says Shane, no worries at all. But yeah, to access those emojis, I think it depends on what device you're on. But it is, if you're on a PC, I think it's a right click and you can see the emojis, or it's a little face down in the corner or something. But yeah, we've got a few of them. We're also going to be adding, in fact, it's almost Easter now. I realize we've almost missed our Easter opportunity, haven't we? We will probably add in some ones that aren't the sevens, or not the sevens, sorry, aren't the Christmas ones. As our last sevens, Ireland played well. They did indeed, making it through to the quarterfinals in the end, getting knocked out by New Zealand at the very last moment as well. I don't know why, but chat sometimes doesn't work. I have to refresh to see the chat. Says Patty there as well. But now Tuttle's going to be feeding the ball in here. Bit of pressure for the Rebels, but they've got this one on the halfway line. Andrew Kellaway now once again stepping beautiful offload forward, though. Good evening, all. Got Hamish to stream on the laptop and Lancashire first-class game on the phone. Up the Lancs. There's Seth Sebastian. So who are some names in there? I think you mentioned about them a little while ago, but who have they got playing currently in there who aren't in the IPL? Do let me know about Andrew Kellaway. Just a little bit disappointed with that one. He's got 1 sock up, 1 sock down. I don't know whether or not that's a fashion statement or whether it's just because one of his socks has been pulled down and he doesn't realise. Currently offloads 1 apiece for both of the sides. I believe both sides, though, in the offloads have actually both gone forward. Currently now 40 metres out from the line, the Reds, they are going to have another scrum 15 minutes into this one. And like I mentioned, the Blues, they are playing Fiji and Drua on the Saturday night. That's going to be an absolutely awesome game. It's just annoying. And as I said, Betty, the one that has gone down in the front row now. Tate McDermott going to be available now, going short side for Filippo Dalgunu. Brilliant low tackle on him, but now Tate McDermott goes down the wing. He's actually tackled relatively late there And Oscar Lads Red says your favorite song is Baby Shark. I mean, haven't heard it in a while. I actually have a clip or a video from ages ago that I'm not going to tell you too much information on, but it did involve us having to do like a school performance, not to Baby Shark, but an older song about the underwater. And I got a bit carried away and brought a snorkel. We have got there. Are you going to the New Zealand versus? Are you going to New Zealand versus England? Yes. I am not going to them, but I'm going to do them on the channel, hopefully, even though they're at the middle of the night. All right, and also Jimmy Anderson and Mahmood. I miss out on the first game. We have brought Hassan Ali for pace bowling. And there, says Sebastian's a very quick bowler. Hassan Ali now going to be available once again. Driving forward quite nicely here for the Reds. 40 metres out, just a couple extra rolls. Now going short side off to Hunter by Sami. Good attack and run. Around the side for McDermott. We haven't really seen too much of Vunivalu so far with the ball in hand. A live streaming there, says Shane. So, yeah, we are hoping to do a majority of those matches, depending on how it kind of sits for us as over now. James O'Connor goes back across. Jordan Pataya hard in the tackle. And also awesome day for Me Too game of rugby. Keep it up, bro. And there, as I says, Josh, and yeah, we have got 3 tomorrow plus the 7s that we will be covering on the channel. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as it is hugely appreciated. And we have got plenty more coming up soon. Nongora going off into the hands of Fortuaka. I'm guessing Moana Pacifica might play the Force or Rebels next week. So Moana Pacifica, they have got the Western Force on the Friday night. Nice ball up for Hunter by Sami. And now Connor Vest, he goes in and scores the try. And that is the opening try of the match for the Reds. It was very nicely done by big Connor Vest, starting at number 6 for this game. Like they're saying, they knew that they had a little bit of the advantage. Right, we will go like this, and we will go like this. And the try scorer, it is Connor Vest who does score it in the 12th minute. Big moment there for the Reds, and they'll be very happy with that one indeed. And also the Chiefs 13 plus. And there it says Shane for their game up against Moana Pacifica, and also Ollie Goodman, happy Easter. And there says it was Reed. Nonetheless, first try of the match, nicely done by the Reds there. And it was Hunter by Sami. Got that little grubber from James O'Connor. It set up nicely. Beautiful pass out to Connor Vest. We have Vunivalu with him, but there was no way he was going to be stopping himself. Only a couple meters out from the line to pass that one. And I guess right on the fourth play, Moana Pacifica, unless I heard you wrong. Nope, that is correct. 10:30 on the Friday night is when we get to see that. But that is the debut Super Rugby try of Connor Vest. Maybe the first of many if he runs like that. But Sussex, mate, they brought in Muhammad Rizwan and Pajara. Very strong additions to first-class cricket. How long are they are 5 days, 4 days? Because if they're only 4, Pajara is going to bat all of that, and no one else will get a turn. But if it's longer, you're good. It's quite a big signing to have Rizwan there, isn't it? As an option. It also Good Friday, indeed up the Blues. And there says Josh to this one. It's kicked by James O'Connor. It's gone over for him. And now the score, it is going to be sitting at no, I almost said, but 10-0. And stuff the Blues. There says Shane. And that's a Good Friday, indeed up the Blues. Says Josh there. Yeah, it was well done by the Blues. At the end of the day, they had to fight hard in that game. There was a late comeback coming for the Crusaders, but then after that, they still were able to just hang on. Dalton Pavali is a name that really needs to get thrown around quite hectically when talking about that game, because he had a sensational one, but now taken by James O'Connor, kicking it back down the middle of the field. Not looking for touch this time. Taken by Reece Hodge on the halfway line now, trying to find that attack and move. He's tackled low by Connor Vest and Fortuaka. In fact, it's Dalgunu. He's been able to work hard on the breakdown, and the ball has been stolen by the Reds. Now take McDermott, kicks it in behind. Sees a lot of space. The advantage is over. It's going to keep on skidding on. Might go into the in goal. No, it bounces awkwardly. And 5 minutes out now, Glenn Vaihu on his left boot kicks it towards the touchline. It's a great kick. Oh, the cameraman. He ended up taking it over the top of him. And now they've taken the quick tap as well. That is absolutely brilliantly done by O'Connor to be able to take a catch over a man who was just doing his job on the touchline. Now Vunivalu, beautiful offload. Now Hunter by Sami, going to be backing himself down the wing, trying to bump over. No, unable to. Vunivalu drops it, and it's a knock on. 4-day games, yes, Pajara will show up. The 5th day as well, not out. Wondering where everybody is. And there it says the Western also, we need titles in the South Island. Here's Shane for that one as well. Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see exactly who makes it through to that top 8. Currently, you'd have to argue the Reds and the Rebels. No, sorry, the Reds and the Brumbies. They will be the 2 definite Australian sides through. Alongside them, you got the Blues and the Crusaders for New Zealand. Hurricanes and Chiefs, I believe, will get there. So that is 6. And then alongside that, I guess you probably go maybe Western Force. And then, don't know who else you go with. Maybe Fijian Draw or Rebels could sneak it in the top. And also we have got them on Moana Pacific. I had a chance against the Force in the draw. We'll be in for a tough, busy game against the Blues. So we'll see how they both measure up in the Trans-Tasman game, says Sammy Souza. And also now they need to come up north for a bit, Satyrs. They've had it too much. There's Sammy Souza. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Sammy Souza. That was Paddy Wagon. Oh, that one. Okay, my Siri thought that I was talking to her. Sammy Souza? Does she think that's Sammy? How does that turn into Siri? Don't know. And then I say it and she doesn't pop up. Interesting. And then a few meters out from the line for the Rebels here. It looks like James Tuttle is about to put up the box kick. Instead, decides to fire it back to Matt Tamua. Just get some good distance on that one. That one goes into touch, so there's no way of taking that throw quickly. Only already 21 minutes through this game. It has been flying by, but the games tomorrow that I was mentioning a little bit earlier on, the first of which is the Chiefs taking on Moana Pacifica. Alongside that, then the next game, Highlanders taking on the Hurricanes, followed by Western Force versus Warriors, and then, Waratahs, I should say. And then alongside that, if we do get the time, I want to do Munster versus Exeter Chiefs, as I did their game last night. There was a push in the back from, I believe it was the number 2 for the Reds. So a little bit of an early mistake for him. Like they're saying, it's a critical time for the Rebels. They're trying not to yawn, but it hit me in the end. And at the moment, yeah, Western Force, they have got the last game of tomorrow night as well as the last game of the Friday night for the Super Round. That is all taking place in Melbourne, and that will be taking place next week, which will be very exciting. These are the benches for the two sides, ladies and gentlemen. For anyone who doesn't know, we have got there, it's going to be Tini Alatupo. He's a big man to have coming off the bench. Also, Angus Scott-Young, I think, could be a key for the Reds. Then looking through, though, at the Rebels, Cameron Orr. Then alongside him, you've got Wilkin, Joe Powell, and Carter Gordon. Carter Gordon is one that really will want to prove himself after having quite a struggle in recent weeks. But then also we've got the Rico with that try-saving tackle. And also Dalton Papali, he was involved in that one as well. And for a big man to move that far out, and give him a big shove towards the touchline was huge for them in that matchup. And at least they should be the last time, or this should be the last time Moana Pacific has short turnarounds this weekend. Yeah, hopefully, because that does take a big toll on your body. You're always rotating your squad because everyone does end up getting into that tired stage. And then it's extremely hard to pick who's going in. But Fraser, a good tackle in by Tamati Ioane right around the ribcage. Was able to drag him down, but currently 23 minutes through. The Rebels once again with another opportunity to attack. It's Kobus Eloff, the big man, and Reds as favourites. Doesn't surprise me with the Rebels being the occasional punching bags. And I expected them to be more of a favourite than the $1.20 that they were. I thought that they would seriously be about $1.06 or so, but that's going to be going back for the initial penalty now. Oh no, initial knock on, so it is going to be the scrum feed for the Rebels there. If no New Zealand teams will stop watching, just like the Blues in there as well, says Shane Hayes. Yeah, at this stage, the Blues are sitting top of the table. They're looking pretty good at this point in time. They've had a couple close encounters, but recently they've really been able to propel themselves forward. Like the Crusaders, they lost by 4 points, and they've won 3 of their games by 3 points, I believe, or lost one of them by 3 points as well. So it seems to always be a close game with the Crusaders at the moment, not a huge jump up from what we used to see of them winning by 30 points, etc. along those lines. But currently now, it will be Tuttle with another line out, or in fact a scrum feed for the Rebels now. We'll be getting ready to put this ball in, and he does just that. Now, big push from the Reds on an angle. It's a penalty to the Rebels, right? You're 10-0 down. It's an easy 3, but I would prefer to see them go for the corner. Got COVID right before Easter, says Jack, so that won't be very fun for you, mate. So hopefully you do have a speedy recovery there, and you are still able to, I guess that's the thing, maybe save your Easter egg if you get one till after you've recovered, because or else then it will be like eating it and not getting that satisfactory taste of the Easter egg. Because they do say that taste buds are one of those things that normally disappear a little bit from it. But yeah, speedy recovery for you, mate. Okay, Matt Tamua is going to be lining up this kick, and they want the 3. Like they're saying the Rebels, they've had almost 60% of the ball. And cover 6, they have it. And as I said, Shane Tamua trying to put that ball on the tee, does just that. Getting ready to line this one up. But currently, that's the thing. They missed that kick earlier on for Resodge. You cannot miss this kick as well. Because if you miss this kick, that's not good. That is not useful whatsoever for them. But now it will be Matamua lining up the kick, taking his time, make sure that he strikes it all right. And he has got that one over. So the score now will be 3 points to the Rebels and 10 to the Reds. A pity that Easter weekend might have that random flu again. And as I said, Semi Souza, I know that George, I think he's going to be coming around on Sunday and Monday. Sunday, we're going to be doing some recording for the Kiwi Lads Extras channel and then also some for the main channel. And then alongside that on Monday, I believe we have got an Easter egg hunt that we are going to be doing as a Extras channel video. As Balakoon World Cup level, I think so. Like his pace in one area is just brilliant. And then alongside him, if you can get those skills like really still developing, because he's still young as well, isn't he? So he's got plenty of time to go. I messed up my taste buds by eating a lot of spicy food, and I have to keep going for spicy recipes to bloody feel something in there, says Sebastian. So there. See, that's the thing. I'm like, I can have like sweet chili sauce, and my mouth goes on fire, you know? Which I know for a lot of people, it's like sweet chili sauce. That's nothing. Going up now for James O'Connor. Some good height on that one. Waiting for this ball to come down. Unable to take it cleanly. I believe that's actually a replacement here. At the moment, it is Creighton. I'm not too sure who the injury for the Reds was. I didn't actually see him get replaced next weekend. With all the games at the same venue will be epic, says Warriors fan. It certainly will be. Charged down for the kick of Resodge. Now Nongur passing it back across. Stewart gets a hunter by Sami. It might be Filippo Dalgunu looking through. I still see Vunivalu. But I'm not sure whether or not we've got Pataya out there. George himself wouldn't be too happy that his team lost at home. That is very true. Okay, but Dalgunu is still out there. So it is Jordan Pataya who's off at the moment for Creighton. That's a knock on from Angus Blythe. Now firing the ball back across. It will be Andrew Callaway trying to break the tackle. Finds the offload to Phillip, who now pins the ears back. He's almost had his bands pulled down, but he passes it on the outside. Beautiful inside ball. Outside once again for Vaihu. Ball off to Tuttle. And this is very good work from the Rebels currently, but Fraser McWright steals it. And now he's breaking the line. He's got Harry Wilson with him. Ball on the inside to Tate McDermott. And it's going to be a foot race. And he's going to go all the way, Tate McDermott. And he scores the try for the Reds. I can't wait for Ireland versus New Zealand in summer. It's going to be an awesome one, that is for sure. But brilliant from the Reds. It looked like the Rebels were about to score themselves one, but it just went wrong. The Reds then, they pounced on the opportunity. Fraser McWright in the breakdown was absolutely sensational, getting it back for them. And then McDermott, all he had to do was pin those ears back, run and run some more, and he goes over, scores the next try of the match for the Reds. And now they have got themselves the second. And it was an exaggeration, of course, but they're slightly damaged nonetheless in there, says Sebastian. But yeah, like for mine, I hate like having sour things. Like, I don't mind them as long as they're not too sour, but as soon as it makes your face go like that, I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. It's like spicy food. If it makes you go like that, it's like, why am I doing this to myself? I could have a ice cream at the moment. Hey, Petty. And also George says, David, so yeah, he is going to be coming over a couple times throughout the weekend. Oh, chicken this? I think they're chicken this. Damon Murphy, he's seen something. Or Nick Berry might have seen something. Has Amelia gone mental yet? Depends whether or not this one goes over. Potential foul play. Okay, so if it's potential foul play, I think this could actually be maybe still a try for the Reds, but it might actually be the Rebels who end up with themselves in the bin, perhaps, is only speculation at this point in time. Right. What are we going to see in the TMO of this one? Still waiting for it. 2 minutes. They have now been waiting for the TMO to come up on the screen. Right, so it's a dangerous tackle. Okay, I think they're checking the high shot. I mean, Creighton has got him around the neck, but he wouldn't have got him around the neck if he wasn't falling into it. This could be reversed for one that's going massively back, Leinster or Toulouse. I think Leinster at the moment are in a better place than Toulouse. They seem to just be having a few too many losses recently to lose. Okay. Damon Murphy says there's no foul play for me because the player was falling. The try will stand. And I believe one of the commentators, he was pretty happy with that decision. But Tate McDermott, he gets the try now for himself. And I was working there, what's up? With her as well, says David the Mob. Pretty much she is actually standing, or not standing, sorry, sitting in the front row at the game. So that is why I guess she's a Rebel supporter through and through. So this won't be too fun seeing them losing currently 17 points to 3. As this kick from James O'Connor, I would like to think would go over. And it has indeed. Also, she's a Rebels fan in there, and Leinster have a ridiculous teams. Yeah, they've got depth for days at the moment, Leinster. And I'm looking forward to seeing what their next, I guess, game up against Connacht brings. It's going to be only in how many hours is that good? I'm going to have a look. That was very high pitch, but I'm excited for it. I think it's actually only in like 5 or 6 hours' time. So I might end up getting to watch that while editing or watching that from bed while I do end up finishing off all of the stuff that we have got for tomorrow. As Vunivalu are been performing well. He hasn't had a huge opportunity so far, but I don't think he's going too badly for himself currently. Now waiting for this ball at the back. It is going to be Tate McDermott. Does get that ball now, and it goes up high from McDermott, waiting for it to come down, taken nicely by Reece Hodge. Tell you what, that was a big run forward from Filippo Dalguna. Of course, Amelia, the Loyals Rebel fan. And there, that's right. There says David the Mod. Now passing across, Tuttle goes to Ioane. Off to Matt Tamor. Now Matt Phillip, another Matt working hard. And he's had another brilliant run there. How many minutes has it been? So currently we are sitting 30 minutes through. It's a penalty to the Rebels. Right, they're down by 2 tries. Please do not kick it for the 3. You got to go for the 7 here. Okay, so it's 6 hours, 12 minutes till that game between Leinster and Connacht kicks off. I think I might be able to watch that one from my bed. And also, it seems Suliasi isn't seeing the ball more often, and it's only the first half. And there says Sammy Sosa. Yeah, they seem to be probably, I mean, he's had the ball once, actually, now that I think about it. He did very nicely with his offload. Oh, no, we're going upstairs again, are we? 2 minutes since the last DMO, and they're going upstairs again. That's going to use up plenty of time. And for both the sides, and you must be behind from scoreboard. And there, as I says, Paddy. Well, that's on, but currently now potential foul play. They are going to be checking it to see exactly what the plan is. Is it? Oh, surely it's not Reece Hodge. Oh, no, I think it's going to be on Reece Hodge. Oh, okay. Dalgunu's come flying in from far back. It's kind of giving me, okay, it's giving me the Corumbeti tackle on Geelong throwback from France versus Australia here. You'd have to argue there's a bit of a wrap, but I think it was on the head/neck area. Oh, I think that's on the head of Reece Hodge. This could be trouble for Dalgunu. He might end up with a yellow card here. And they must they always refer to the TMO. There's the thing that I quite like about rugby, or no, sorry, not rugby, about the A-League at the moment. I know people hate when you compare football and rugby, but the thing that I like is the fact that they've got the VAR, which pretty much is the case of rather than stopping the game for something, they'll wait, they'll get the VAR to have a look at it, and then if the VAR feels that it's fine, he'll give the thumbs up. If he feels that it's not fine, then the referee will have a look at it. Type thing. And I feel like they need that a little bit more, or take some part of that and bring it over to rugby union, because some of the things that they check are just not really that serious. This one was a case of it not being that smooth, because he has ended up shouldering him in the head. So he is going to get a yellow card here for this game. But currently, I believe Filippo Dalgunu, he is going to get himself in a little bit of trouble here. Okay. So Filippo Dalgunu, because he made contact with the shoulder first and then it rode up to the head, that is why it is only a yellow card. In fact, that's actually Vunivalu. Oh, okay. Wait, or is it? I thought it was Filippo Dalgunu, to be honest. But they've just put up Suliasi Vunivalu. That's Dalgunu, isn't it? That's Dalgunu? Yeah. Suliasi Vunivalu's got slightly shorter here. So they've got the wrong name up on the screen, but it is Dalgunu who's off for the next few moments. And also exactly what I feel that common sense, or exactly why I feel that common sense is being overlooked with the refereeing these days, Sesame Souza. Because I can understand if it is bad enough to check it, but if it's something that is like, right, it happened off the ball about 2 minutes ago, surely you can get someone else, even if it's not a TMO, just a VAR type thing, video assistant referee, and get someone looking at it and see what they can find out. Koba Seeloff, good run forward here for the big man, tries to get back up only 5 meters out from the line here for the Rebels. Now Matt Samoa goes off to research. There was a slip. Hodge goes through. Hodge is short. Brilliant tackle by Hunter Paisami. Try saving one right there. Spinning out of the tackle. He's over. And the Rebels score the try. And Oz are now binding in for the Blues tonight. It certainly was. And that is going to be a great try for Richard Hardwick of the Rebels. He has fired up for that one. And now the Rebels have been able to score themselves their first try in this matchup. They have the man advantage for the next 10 minutes as well. The Reside, you saw the gap. That is absolutely sensationally done by Hunter Paisami. You'd have to say a try-saving tackle, but really it was only a try-saving or a try-delaying tackle because they were still able to go over with Richard Hardwick. We will go like that. 33 minutes in. We've got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. And that just gives the Rebels half a chance of being able to get back into the match. But I have to say, see what happens when they go for the corner rather than the three. I had to bring it up. I probably won't bring it up throughout all of the other ones. There you go, Amelia. Cheers, Patty, for that one. Yeah, very nicely done one for the Rebels. Richard Hardwick scores it. Now, currently, like they're saying, 8 minutes left till we get to halftime. And what about Rika Ioane with the try save? It was brilliantly done. Him and Dalton Papali both doing extremely well for that one. I think Hunter Paisami might have broken his jaw. / he is bleeding on the chin anyway from that massive tackle that he did make. But now, Matt Tamoy gets it over. And now the score is going to be sitting 10 points to the Rebels, 17 to the Reds now. But yeah, I think it was a good combination of Rico and Papali who just pushed the man out. Like, that was not an easy one to do either. Dom Gardner's a big boy. At the moment, Hunter Paisami split his lip open. I believe that could have been on the sprig or maybe biting down on the tongue while he was on the ground. But that was a massive tackle from him. And he'll be disappointed that his side weren't able to stop that try from taking place after such a big effort from him. Now, James O'Connor kicks it off. Still another 7 minutes left of this yellow card. So they will get a man back pretty much just right on halfway. Or at half time, I should say. But Suliasi Vunivalu, he is still out on the field. So it was Dalgunu who did get himself yellow carded. Now, Reece Hodge, ball on the outside to the try scorer. Hardwick with a nice little bit of a step as well. A big open side flank. And now passing it back across. Good run forward from it was James Hansen. Now Matt Ta'amua off to, was that Koba Seeloff with the step? No, instead Matt Gibbon. The fact that the props these days can step sometimes better than the backs used to be able to is a scary thought. But kicked him behind from Andrew Callaway, waiting for the ball to bounce up. That's a knock on from James O'Connor. And now from 40 meters out, it is going to be the scrum feed. We have got the Amelia must be happy that her team is still in it. Exactly right. And we can see a few men on the bench there. I think they were they Reds or Rebels players? They only showed them for about half a second. So I didn't really get to see too much. But James O'Connor, just a little knock on the ground. Dead cause now, the scrum feed, and he was disappointed with that one. James O'Connor, he went from being smiley to angry in about half a second. Just like when you end up, like you get a big milkshake from somewhere and you're so happy. And then you drop it half a second later, and then it just goes to pure disdain. That is what James O'Connor experienced, except minus the milkshake. So that makes it even worse because he didn't even get to try out the milkshake. That sounded really deep. It's just a milkshake analogy. But now from halfway almost, or just a little bit inside of the Reds half. It will be Tuttle who will be feeding this ball in for the Rebels. It pops out the side. It looks like Tamati Ioane wants it. Yes, he does now. Off to Tuttle. Back across Matt Ta'amua. Going through. Brilliant run from Matt Ta'amua. And now wrestled down by Hunter Paisami and James O'Connor. Great front foot ball here for the Rebels. Vaiu intercepted, and it's going to be a foot race. No one's going to catch him. And Creighton, he's out on the field, and unfortunately for the Rebels, one mistake leads to the try to the Reds. That was a massive. Taniela Tupou's on there, getting involved in the celebration, but Creighton goes the length of the field, scores the try, and the Rebels, it's just, unfortunately, the wrong one. So close. Metamore, it was a good run forward. Who threw the lethal intercept? I think it was Glenn Vaihu. No, Stacey Ely. Then it was Vaihu. Intercepted. And Creighton does end up going over. And he scores the try there for the Reds. And that is a good time to score as well when you're a man down in the bin and you still manage to get yourselves over the try line. And also, she's not happy now. No, it would have been she dropped her milkshake at that very moment there. You know, the milkshake for the Rebels, it was a good one. And then it just got thrown. The Reds, they got rid of that milkshake. Currently now, it is going to be James O'Connor lining up this kick, taking his time, making sure that he can get it over. And it does. Very nicely done. And that is going to be now making the score just a little bit more in favor of the Reds. 24 for the Reds and 10 for the Rebels. And also, yeah, that was a quick one, short-lived. And then, but Creighton, he's done extremely well to be able to take that, because if he drops that, that's a deliberate knockdown, possibly a yellow card for him. But because he was able to regather, it becomes a try. It becomes a very useful 7 points for the Reds right at the end of the half. That's the thing. He was looking back at his teammates. Then he got bombarded by the teammates who were off the field, the subs who are making their way out onto the field a little bit later. Now it goes up. Going to be back on the side of the Rebels. It's a knock-on advantage in favor of the Rebels now. Matt Ta'amua, they'll be very cautious with who they throw the ball to down this wing, because they will know that Creighton is right there waiting for it. Kovas, Elof, good run. He is going to be dragged down. I see that Lucan Salakwai Lotto is not playing in this one. I don't know whether or not that is some sort of injury. It's a good run forward from Stacey Ely up to the 22. Fraser McWright, though. Oh. Second go. So he was unfortunate there. And speaking of milkshake now, I'm thinking about dessert, says Sammy Souza in there. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some dessert. Easter's just around the corner. Normally it's Easter and Christmas is the one that it's like allowed that you do put on a whole heap of weight. Like Christmas hit me hard this year. But then saying that, I think that's because I don't do a lot other than the live streaming and sleeping at the moment. So I need to work on that side of things maybe a little bit more. But for now, it seems to be working for us. We have been very hectic and very busy throughout 2022. I think we've probably averaged about 3 hours a day, even on weekdays, if you take like the average from all of the time that we have done streaming for. Yet somehow the voice is still going. Now 5 meters out from the line. Going to be rolled back here, and it is in the hands of James Hansen. Good rolling ball for the Rebels. Looking to try and creep themselves just a little bit further. Nongora has to get taken out the side. Same with Ryan Smith. And now they are getting close. Michael Wells joins them back. Who is that at the moment? I believe it is still in the hands of Hansen. And the Rebels closing in on the line. They go over. It's underneath. It's given as the try. And the Rebels score another. And I believe that time it was James Hansen who went in and got the try. This one's going to be a back and forward seesaw battle. Hansen scores. I mean, if your name starts with an H, seems like you've got a good chance of scoring if you're a Rebels player. And your last name starting with H, I should mention for that one. I'm going to see who else has the last name starting with H. Reese Hodge, one that comes to mind straight away for it. But currently only a couple minutes left in the second half. It's not the 98th minute. That is an accident, and it's the 38th minute that we are up to in this one. We'll go like that. And we will go like that. Christmas and Easter are literally worth a feasting fest in there, as well, says Sammy Souza. So they've got Hardwick, they've got Josh Hill, and they've got Reese Hodge. as the other two players starting with H. Who knows? Maybe that will be the case for them. And then for the Reds, they kind of ruined it because they have got McDermott, who scored, but then also Connor Vest and punch and counterpunch all right, which literally keeps this game very interesting. See Sammy Sosa. And yeah, as long as it stays close going into the second half, that sounds like the siren there for halftime. So if this one goes over from Matamua, they will be just a little bit further back into this game. And the thing is, the Reds will be back to 15 when they do get back out onto the field. Matamua, he's currently doing this. He's just doing a bit of swaying, bit of shoulder shrugging, looking at the ball, strikes it, misses. Unlucky for that one for Matamua, but that is going to be halftime now. 24 points to 15 in this matchup, because I know that I'm going to be sounding like a broken record here, but for me, taking on threes is all well and good. Like, this wasn't one of those cases. They did score the try, but taking on the three-pointer is all well and good if you get the three-pointer over. And unfortunately for the Rebels, their accuracy when kicking for those threes has not been great this season. So it's really been costing them quite badly, unfortunately. But now, at this stage, it is going to be halftime. 24 points to the Reds, 15 to the Rebels in this game. For the second half, it should be heading up quite nicely. And hopefully it does look very nicely. Easily best I've seen from the Rebels this year, says Tars. And yet they've looked strong on the counter-attack. Like, you'd have to wonder. I mean, 2 out of those ones that the Reds did score were from counter-attacks. Like, McBride just in the breakdown, lethal with the way that he stole that one. And then after that, and then alongside that, it was the next try, which was the long cutout pass from Vaihu that was intercepted. But currently, they're still right in this contest. And if they keep on going the way that they are, they might have a chance of being able to win this game at AAMI Park. And that will definitely send some hype for the Melbourne Rebels heading into their next week's fixture that they are going to be having. And that will be up against the Crusaders. That's going to be a tough game, but it is at AAMI Park, like I mentioned. Looking through at the games that are taking place tomorrow for Super Rugby Pacific, we will be covering all 3 of them on the channel. The Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica, that is at 4:35 p.m. Then Highlanders versus Hurricanes, and then Western Force taking on the Waratahs as a late night fixture that is going to be taking place at 9:45. Then from there, we've got the Sevens that is going to be taking place, which I am very excited to see how it does end up going. Okay, they've just mentioned about a player being off currently. Okay, Jordan Patira is the player that they were talking about for the injury. I was worried that someone else might have also been injured. I know that Hunter Paisami's jaw will be pretty sore after face planting the ground. And also, Rebels going for penalty goals is like the complete opposite to the drawer who would prefer tap and run it. And I think the Rebels would actually be decent in terms of trying out that tactic, seeing how it goes, because they're only kicking over 50% of those threes. So really, you've got one other opportunity that you might as well just give it a tap, see how you go, kick it for the corner. And I think it's because they've got that ability of kicking them from 60, like, or minus 60 out, just because you've got Reese Hodge's long boot. But it's tricky for them, that is for sure. Currently now they are just having a chat to the Stan Sports crew for this matchup. It looks like that's Andrew Murdens, isn't it? Andrew Mitchell. 112 Super Rugby games for him, and also A for offense and F for defense. And there's Xavier. Yeah, they've been looking pretty good throughout the first half. The Rebels. I will ask you the question, Xavier. Are you at this game, or are you watching it from home? Do let me know. Or are you saving yourself for the Super Round next week, perhaps? Because it is certainly going to be an awesome fixture. Times 6. We get 6 games. I don't know what I'm going to be able to do with myself. I mean, I'll probably lose my voice, but that's half the fun, isn't it? Like, I think normally, I know when there's been a real good game of rugby, when you only do 1 or 2 games and your voice sounds shocking the next day, you know that one is one of those ones that are always memorable when it does just go back and forth, back and forth. But I will mention tomorrow night, we've got the Sevens coming back in 1 day, 5 hours time. There's going to be the opening game between Argentina and France, Ireland and Scotland. They are both taking place in the first game. I believe that we are covering on the channel will either be Argentina, France, or it might end up being Samoa versus Wales, depending on how the schedule kind of allows. And also 100% at the game. Oh, yeah, you're vlogging it. That is true. Sorry, I forgot about that you were doing the vlog. So hopefully the vlog footage, you're getting some good cinematics. hello to Xavier's vlog if he's filming his phone. He's probably not filming his phone, though, I would think, because he's probably filming on his phone. Plot twist. But that makes sense as well. But currently a yellow card to Filippo Dalgunu for the first half. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, of these sevens, who are you most looking forward to seeing in action? Right, we want to see what happened to my thumb, or want to see what happened on the thumb on Discord. If it's gruesome, probably not, because I know that we've got quite a few young viewers on the Discord, and I would prefer not to scar them just before bed. So, I mean, maybe just more describe it rather than a picture might be the best way of doing it. We don't really want to scare everyone. Definitely not close to Easter. That's normally the fun time. Halloween, you could. But Easter, not so much. Currently, the groups for the sevens, for anyone who does want to know about it, it is Pool A is England, Kenya, USA, and Fiji. Pool B is New Zealand, Wales, Samoa, and Japan. Pool C is Canada, South Africa, Australia, and Spain. And then after that, it will be Pool D, France, Ireland, Scotland, and Argentina. And Super Round next week is bound to wreck your vocal cords in the commentary box, Samish, with plenty of fun, all right, that is true. But the good news, I guess, is the fact that we haven't got sevens next week. So that helps, because that will mean that I get to talk probably half as much. But it's still not going to be a very easy one. Hey, it's Stephen Moore. What's he doing there? He still looks exactly the same. Okay, like they've said, he's 39 years old, 177 Super Rugby games. And that is absolutely huge for an individual player. That's more than a lot of the four packs do have. And there, but currently, it is going to be Steve Moore, who was playing a long time for the Wallabies. They're talking about the rearrangement of the Wallabies camp at this stage. And hi, says Amelia, how's the game going? Amelia, do let us know. Were you behind the Reds kicking or the Rebels kicking for it? Do let me know. But currently, I hope you are enjoying the game. The Rebels, they're close. They're fighting back hard. And hopefully we do get to see some action in the second half for both of these sides. But I'm looking through at those results or those games coming up for the seven side of things. We're going to be doing a lot of them overnight for those ones. But it is after the Super Rugby does end up finishing. So because of that, it does mean that we can be up till random hours of the morning and the night, because the last game on the first day finishes at 1:33 p.m. And then after that, I believe George is coming around for a few hours. Then I go to sleep at like 5, wake up at 3, and get ready to go for some more sevens. Also, Rebels are still in this, which you are happy about. And there's this Betty Wagon. I was behind with the Reds kicking in the first half. Okay, so the Rebels, the more tries they score, the more chance the ball has of hitting you in the second half. So you probably want that in a weird roundabout way. You know, Matt Demore, research. Hopefully they can get a few over. Well, yeah, currently there is a man on the ground doing some leg stretches. I can't do that because I'm not very flexible at all. And I'd say, yep, says Amelia for that one. But currently now at halftime, there is a difference of only the 9 points between these two sides. At the moment, Jordan Patai is not looking too happy. I think he has got some sort of injury, which does mean he more than likely won't be coming up. Ow, I need to take the plaster off. I mean, probably don't then. If you have to take a plaster off, maybe just leave the plaster on for now. And then just, I guess, if you really do need to send it when it started healing so that you don't have to worry about having to put a new one on. But currently now, it is going to be Drew Mitchell having a bit of a chat. I think is he a Warriors or Waratahs boy, Drew Mitchell? I can't quite remember which team he did end up playing for, but the Waratahs playing tomorrow night up against the Western Force. It'll be an exciting one. I need to put stuff on. And now, as I said, Betty Wagon. Currently now, the tries in the first half, Hardwick and Hansen, the two Rebels try scorers. If your last name starts with H, you've got a good chance of scoring. Reese Hodge, Josh Hill, looking straight at you two. For that one, I'm eating an ice cream to make the pain go away that we are losing. And there says Amelia. So hopefully that ice cream helps them out for the second half. Vest, McDermott, and Crichton, I think it is actually. I say it too fancy. But Crichton, he is there as one of the Rebels try scorers right at the end of the half. Now, we did see just a back and forth seesaw between the tries that were being scored, which was pretty awesome to see that it did go try, all within 5 minutes of each other. But currently now, we are just waiting for the second half to get back underway for this game. It's currently at 10:40 p.m. here in New Zealand. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in that Connacht versus Leinster game for you guys who are going to be watching it. Do Leinster take it out, or will Connacht be able to pull off an upset? They need to win it by about 6 or 7 points, and they will make their way through. It will be interesting to see how it does end up going. We can see there currently it is Tyson Fury up against, I think it's White, isn't it? If I'm not wrong there, right? Petty has sent me a picture on there. What am I looking at? I see. So it's almost like a little blister, like cut thing in there. A little bit. It looks like when you what's it called? When you have like a blood blister or something and you accidentally rip it. Kind of looks like that. I thought your finger was going to be like hanging there. I was worried. And also the good news is we ain't out of this. That is very true for that one. So hopefully it is going to be a close second half. And even if the Rebels lose, even though I know you won't want them to, but if they do, I would love to see them get within like 7 points. This one I sent it to you. Here's Paddy there as well, but currently a halftime, 9 points difference between the two sides. We had a game earlier on, which was Crusaders versus Blues. And for that game, it was actually only a 3-point difference between them. This game could be very similar, depending on what we see early on and how aggressive we get to see the Rebels be for the early stages. I would love to see them continue to kick it for the corner rather than going for the 3 points as worse than blister. And as I says, Paddy, I'm currently now at AAMI Park. This is going to be a very familiar location, so get used to the arches because that is where we are going to be for all of the Super Rugby games next weekend. And it is going to be the Super Round. Should be absolutely awesome to see who comes out on top. And for those games, like I mentioned, the first one that we do get to see, we'll actually have, it's 2 games a night, I should mention, we do get to see, rather than 3 on the Saturday, 2 on the Friday, and 1 on the Sunday, like we have been seeing kind of more recently. But the games that we have got, it will be the first match between the Chiefs and the Waratahs. Then Moana Pacifica taking on the Western Force. After that, we've got the Blues versus Fiji and Drua, followed by the game between the Hurricanes and the Reds. And then after that one on the Sunday, we will get to see 2 matches taking place between the Highlanders and the Brumbies and the Crusaders and the Rebels. Currently now, everyone has just dropped their cup on the ground by the looks of it for the Rebels. Resage still having a bit of a drink. He knows that he's got to score a try because his last name starts with H. And that is part of the rule book for this matchup. But they are showing there. In fact, sorry, I said that earlier on the game between the Blues and the Crusaders was split by 3 points. I did mean 4 points for that one, 27 points to 23. But the last few games, the Crusaders have had quite a few close games with only 3 points difference. They did pretty nicely to fight back in that one. I want to see that last-minute tackle once again. Moonga then went out right, whereas Dalton Pavali and Rico Ioane brilliantly done to stop Dom Gardner from going over the line. Currently now, do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do we think will score the first try of the second half? I should say someone's name who starts with H for the Rebels, but I'm going to say it's Cobus Eloff if it is a try scorer for the Rebels. And if it is for the Reds, I'm going to actually go James O'Connor. We'll see how that goes. Doesn't normally get to score a huge amount of them, but I think that the Rebels' defense, from what I've seen, they might end up getting lured and wide. And then from there, James O'Connor just cuts his way up the middle like he did a couple of weeks ago for that opening try of the match. But currently, they are just showing the Western Force versus Waratahs. The last time that those two sides had a game, it was actually extremely close for it. And it was the Waratahs, I believe, who just came out on top in that matchup. Unless we are just waiting for the second half to get underway. I always say it, I feel like the breaks are longer in the Australian Super Rugby than they are for New Zealand Super Rugby, because they do have more of that kind of chat show type, I guess, implement into their halftime shows. But currently, Hardwick and Hansen, the 2 try scorers for the Rebels, within 5 minutes of each other as well. I should mention then Vest, McDermott, and then it was Creighton who did score it in the 35th. So 2 tries within 7 minutes for the Reds. Currently now getting closer and closer to this game getting back underway. And hopefully it is going to be as exciting of a second half. I don't want a second half with no tries. I feel like that would really kill the momentum of this game. Everyone wants to see 3 or 4 more. Perhaps 3 or 4 more per side would be even better, wouldn't it? Imagine a game that sits like 44 points to 42 or something. That would be quite fun. That is for sure. Currently, the Super W. It is actually going to be the final next week. Waratahs versus the Fiji and Drua. That is on Saturday at 2 p.m. that one will be taking place. I'm going to have a look and see if they're actually going to show that game in New Zealand, because they haven't showed any of the other games of the Super W here in New Zealand, sadly. But that game, Fiji and Drua versus Waratahs, it is not on the TV by the looks of it, unfortunately. By the looks of it there. And also, and then the ads maybe. And there says David the Mod. Yeah, so it seems like we've still got a little bit more time. Although now the Rebels making their way back out there, and also we have got there, they just need more break. Too many beers and getting tired quicker. And there's Batty Wagon. So yeah, I'm interested to know whether or not the New Zealand games that take place, like in New Zealand, are a quicker air break than the ones that take place in Australia, or whether they will be quite similar. But now making their way out onto the field, the Reds, the team that are away from home that would love to be able to get themselves a victory here. Suliasi Vunivalu, we've hardly seen him throughout the first stages, but hopefully that is going to be a thing of the past and we do get to see him in action a little bit more. But someone who we have seen, Fraser McWright, he has been great in the last little while. Same with Tate McDermott. Anyone with a Mick in their name seems like they are going all right. Who else have we got who's Mick? Got any other Micks? McDermott, McWright, Mick O'Connor? No, doesn't quite work, does it? So yeah, just those two, McDermott and also Fraser McWright, being two key players. We've hardly seen Harry Wilson, which is a bit of a surprise, as he is normally extremely prominent for the Rebels, or sorry, for the Reds in their other matches. But now getting ready to go here for the Reds. They need to start the second half just like they did the first half, get themselves in a good position to be able to go on and add some early points on the board. And good game so far. Hopefully it gets decided in the last 10 minutes, says Ray Beach. Hopefully that is the case as well. And imagining the torment of NFL football and ad breaks every few minutes, torture. And there says David Amod. Yeah, it can be pretty stop-start overall. But I guess strategically wise, NFL, I think it's good because they get like not just the advertising, but also you get like breaks where you can go get food. I think that's the strategy, just make you get more food. Like no one's getting a banana in between two quarters of an NFL game that I know of. And I was like, McDonald's. And as I said, Patty, it was the one that was in my head. Oh, that's not a good kick from Stacey Ely, and it's going to sit up nicely for Suliasi Vunivalu. Now goes off to Hamish Stewart. Does get some good distance on that one. Research taken nicely from 40 meters out from the line. Geez, that's gone up. And that's gone 2 meters, 3 meters at max. Research, he's dropped the ball. And that one is going to be now going back for the scrum feed of the Reds. Sorry about that. Yawn, they happen all the time, unfortunately, which is unfortunate, which I just said twice, which tells you how unfortunate it really is. But Ryan Smithy went up for that one, didn't quite work out. Hey, we should play him. And there says Paddy Wagon. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it if that is the case. I mean, I'm not the standout player for the Reds. Who else we got? David, is there a David out there? No. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Rugby itch. We got anyone? No. I think there's not many double ups for names in the chat compared to names out on the field, is there? All. Currently now it's going to be the scrum feed. Now it's going to be the grubber. Sits up nicely for Resodge, who did have the mistake a little bit earlier on, but now he is well and truly booted that. That one's going to have to pull up. It's done nicely. And McHamish, McDavid, McPatty, McSeb. And there as well. Sounds like if we were all born in Ireland. Now it's going to be nicely done by Andrew Callaway out to the halfway line here. Still going to be just available. 45 meters out. Penalty to the Reds. And it was for crawling himself forward just a little bit further. I'm just looking through at the benches as well while we have got just this little bit of spare time. Taniela Tupou is still yet to step his way out onto the field. Same with Angus Scott Young. Same with, I guess you could argue, Cameron Orr, Brad Wilkins, Sam Willis. There's some big boys to come in this match. And then also Joe Powell with a little bit more experience off the bench for the Rebels in the later stages. Won't do them any harm. No big yawn. Oh, myself there. Apparently now 25 meters out. It is going to be the Rebels. No, in fact, sorry, that's the Reds. I've had a shocker there. I think the yawn disorientated me for half a second, but now that one's gone to the back. Going to be not quite taken cleanly by Fraser McWright. You'd have to argue a knock on. Yes, it was. And now the Rebels will have themselves the scrum feed from 25 meters out from the line here. Fraser McWright, he will be excited to see what he can do in the second half. If it's anything like his first half, it's probably going to be a pretty hectic one. Man, throwing it to the back there, nicely done. Little bit of lopsidedness on the ball, but Fraser McWright still went straight through the hands. Big boys, all right. And still anyone's game, says David the Mod. Yeah, so this one, for me, I think the thing that I kind of want a little bit more is to see another Rebels try, just to make it just a little bit closer, put the Reds under pressure, and make sure that they have to play well for the rest of the game. Whereas if the Reds score again, they seem to score, take their foot off the gas a little bit, and then the Rebels counter. It's whether or not they would have enough time to be able to do so. That one's going out the back. McDermott kicks it forward as the ball is free. Now waiting for it to bounce up. George Worth only 10 metres out from the line now. And the Reds have got, once again, it's going to be brilliantly done by Fraser McWright. I mean, if that man's not in the Wallabies squad, I would be extremely surprised. I know they've got Michael Hooper, but Fraser McWright, he's putting his name in the hat as well. So maybe I could be out there. And the thing is, he can play number 6 as well, so I feel like he would be the perfect option for them if they don't end up going with an out-and-out physicality man such as a Lockie Swinton, a Valentini, a Pete Samu, someone like that. Maybe Fraser McWright could be that guy. He just gets so many turnovers in a game, not releasing the ball, and now I believe the Reds are considering the corner. No, they aren't. They're considering the scrum at this stage, liking the aggression from the Reds here. Because rather than just taking the foot off the gas going, we'll take the easy 3, thanks. They've said, you know what, we want the full 7. Thank you very much. I've just realized that a scrum doesn't look like 8 men from above when they're all like separated, but then when they become 1, it's 8 men. I was like, another Mac. And as I says, David, exactly right. Big Fraser McWright. Been very impressive throughout this game, but now I see Harry Wilson changing his bind a little bit at the back of that scrum, which makes me think he is going to be going off the back. It's going to be a little bit too shaky there for them. But for me, Harry Wilson, if he tries to back himself on the top side, try and go straight over the top of George Worth, he might have some success. Currently, it depends on where Tuttle ends up as well. If they can cut him off well enough, like he's not going to be able to get to Harry Wilson. I was just trying to swipe that ball away for them, but now going back for the scrum reset. Fraser McWright, big smile on his face at the moment. He knows he's had a very good game. In fact, he's probably close to man of the match for me so far throughout the early stages. Yes, there's been some good performances from some other players out there, but he's gotten turnovers at the right time. He got that turnover that led to McDermott's try. He got that turnover, which could lead to a try here. And he's just very good in a breakdown. Make the opposition second-guess themselves just a little bit. Oh, it's a free kick to the Rebels. Okay, well, that didn't quite work out for the Reds there. In fact, it's become a penalty, and Nongora can't quite believe it for that one. Siata, he did just pre-engage. That's not what the Rebels, well, it's what the Rebels would have wanted. It's not what the Reds would have wanted in that situation, though. But now Resodge kicks it downfield towards the touchline. Doesn't find it. Mistake from Resodge. Now Creighton going to be kicking this one back. Geez, he's got a bit of that. That's going to be high, just outside of the 22. Well weighted. And then now Matt Moore fires it across. It's rush defense here. Fraser McWright and Harry Wilson helping each other try and take down this Rebels back line. Now Tuttle goes back into the hands of Matt Moore. Once again, gets some good distance. Doesn't find touch. Creighton takes it again. Does he go for the kick again? He does indeed. Looking for a possible 50-22. It's taken inside of the 22 by Resodge. Now he kicks it back. This man just can't find touch. He's missed touch once again. I don't know whether or not he was trying to find touch, but if he was, he's had a shocker. Now James O'Connor kicks it across, taken nicely now by, I believe that time it's George Worth who kicks it downfield. Suliasi Vunevalu takes it. He'll want to run it. No, he kicks it. It's his first kick of the night. It's almost his first run of the night as well. Very close to the touchline. Matamo, you're not allowed to do that, Vunevalu. And Matt Moore, not too happy with that one. He did end up playing him on the ground, so didn't quite get the ruling right. Of course, in the NRL, you go for it. You get that chance. If he's on the ground, you smack into him. You try and re-rattle his vital organs. But unfortunately, in the NRL, they have different rules. Super Rugby-wise, you're not allowed to do it. And because of it, it means that it is going to be the penalty to the Rebels, and that's a little bit of a reprieve for them. And also, we have got their stop for the tennis. And there's his paddy wagon. Penalties conceded at the moment. 8 against the Reds, only 2 against the Rebels. So their discipline has been phenomenal in this game, the home side for this matchup. But now it will be another opportunity for the Rebels to try and build an attacking play. Going to the front. Straight to Cobus Eloff. And the ball is still on the side of the Rebels. Matt Phillip, he's another honourable mention who has played very well throughout this game. They've got the advantage here for the Rebels from the halfway line. Now Matt Tamor looked like he was going to be doing the little chip in behind. Instead, decided to use the back line. Callaway dragged down by Filippo Dalgunu here. Now flicked out the back to Moore. A lot of pressure on him. Going across to Stacey Ely. Good to hands from him. Cobus Eloff. Wide cut out pass. Oh, he hits the touchy. Well, and they are going to be going back for the penalty in favour of the Rebels. So the Rebels, if they get this one over, that would put them 6 behind, which wouldn't be a terrible option now. But it's from about 50 metres out. Saying that is Reece Hodges' territory, really. Harry Wilson just a little bit too quick getting forward there. Reece Hodge. Oh. Okay, they're taking on the shot. I thought Reece Hodge was stepping up to kick it for the corner. So I got all excited, and then he pointed at the post, and I think I just did a bit of internal crying for that one. But it's a good decision in this case to make it within the 6. And then all you need is that converter try, and Hoggy can do it. And there as well says Paddy Wagon. Another big yawn, but 45 metres out now for Reece Hodge. Be lining up this kick. It's an important one. We know he's got the distance. It's whether or not he's got the accuracy that will be the big decider here for Reece Hodge. We've seen him kick him from 55 metres out. This one, 45 metres out this time. Be trying to line up this kick relatively straight out in front, probably of 61%, 16%, or sorry, 46% or 46 metres, I should say, for the kick here. But Reece Hodge, you have to say with the extra distance that he possesses, that's probably about 70% likely to go over, you'd have to argue. Straight down the middle. That is as nice as you can strike the ball. And that is going to be very nicely done by the Rebels to now put themselves up to 18 points just behind the Reds, who are sitting there on 30, or in fact, sorry, 24. But Reece Hodge, like they're saying, he didn't try and overkick it. And I think that's the big thing for Reece Hodge. When he knows he's got to kick it about 50 metres, he normally tries to hit it 70, but all he needs is to get it over the post. And even that one probably travelled 60 metres off the way that he struck it. But I see Big Taniela Tupou has made his way out onto the field now. James O'Connor kicks off, 29 minutes left in this game. It's going to be taken very nicely by Joe Powell, who has also made his way out there. Harry Wilson with the charge down. And now still going to be available here for the Reds. They're arguing that maybe one of the Reds players might have been a little bit offside. But now Tate McDermott goes back across to Paisami. Nice step from Amish Stewart. It's currently on the 22-metre line. It's so quiet now for the last game. And there says Petty Wagon. Although I do like when it does end up kind of being like a busy one and then a quiet one, just because it gives us a bit more time to kind of just chat on them. But now James O'Connor back. Quick hands. I think it went forwards. Yes, it did. And they will be going back now for the scrum. Unfortunately, Connor Vest just getting that one slightly wrong. Another big yawn for myself there, but that's all right. We love a good yawn. Why does the body like yawning? And yeah, it's good. And there says Betty, I guess that's a very big question. Why does a body yawn? Why do we yawn? Why do we sneeze? So another weird one. Why is it that like you just go boomfa? And I was aware there, Betty, stop swearing, says Christian. Did that one as well. But Sam Wallace, he is on the field now. That is for Tamati Ioane. So another late sub that they have been making here. In fact, no, you'd probably call it early sub, really. Both sides willing to make the changes as soon as possible. And also just tuning back in from Big Hard Sports, streaming the NRL. So welcome back, Sammy Sizer. At the moment, it's a close game between these two sides. Taniela Tupou now out on the field for Nongor, and also Josh Fluke coming on the field for Suliasi Vunivalu. So not really a huge impact for himself, unfortunately. Now Joe Powell shut down straight away by Tate McDermott. Now just going to be available just on the side of the Rebels now. Another yawn. Now passing across. Going to be a nice pop pass up to Matt Phillip. He's been great. And also, man, that Blues game was awesome, as a Blues fan says, and run. And yeah, it was a very hectic one. And also, I should mention, we have got a video coming out on the channel relatively soon for Rugby Challenge. That is myself and George, and it's a new concept that I don't believe anyone has done on Rugby Challenge as of yet. It does involve the Blues and the Crusaders, though. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. That will probably be coming out on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, early next week anyway. will be when that one has taken place. But currently now is going to be Tate McDermott, fires it back to James O'Connor after Hunter Paisami runs at the line. Unfortunately, just ended up running straight at Harry Wilson, which is not an easy man to go through. And must be kick tennis out there. No wonder Paddy Boy was swearing in there. As I said, Semi-Sosa now inside of their 22. Reece Hodge kicks it back downfield. And goes into touch. And yawning is a mostly involuntary process of opening the mouth and breathing in deeply, filling the lungs with air. Natural response to being tired. Yawning is also triggered by sleepiness and fatigue. And also even as a neutral, I was cheering for the Blues. Says Nov Mum. And yeah, that game easily could have gone either way right at the last moment. But in the end, it did end up just sneaking the way of the away side, the Blues. So they were able to break a 14-game losing streak. And also maybe I should do Rugby Challenge 4 as well, since I've been playing FIFA 22 recently. There's his Anran. And we've actually also got the Kiwi Lads Extras channel that does have a bit of FIFA on there as well. And I'll be keenly awaiting for that, Hamish, says David the Mold. All I'm going to say is the reason it's going to take quite a few extra days, there is a lot of swearing. But hopefully I can censor most of that and still keep the video roughly intact. But now Big Tini Alatupo tries to drive himself forward just a little bit more, almost stolen. Also, the SodaStream video will be coming out at some stage relatively soon. Although first we have got to get those files onto George's laptop because he hasn't been round. Or he's been round, but we forgot to at the time that he came round. And then the other time he went to the pub. McDermott goes back across. Nice run forward from, I believe it was Angus Blythe. Now Harry Wilson. Oh, he's almost been picked up and put down by Hardwick. 90% George. 90% George. Yep, you called it. That's over the head of the winger, Dalgunu. And now that is going to be the Rebels who have got themselves another line-out opportunity. They take it quickly, liking it. Now Reece Hodge going for the 50-22. In fact, it doesn't quite work out because Filippo Dalgunu is right back there. And now it's a counter-attacking opportunity for the Reds. So you'd have to say kicking the ball away a bit aimlessly there. Just hoping for the territory game. Now Paisami kicks it in behind, out on the full. And it is going to be going back to where he kicked it from. Now, currently, Hunter Paisami, he's at a 50-50 game. He made that incredible, impeccable tackle on Reece Hodge, but then it still led to the try only one phase later. But James O'Connor, that was a big pass for him, that is for sure. And then from there, Joe Powell decided that he did want to try and take it quickly, but Hunter Paisami, only 40 metres out from his line, ended up kicking that one into touch on the full. And they do have to go right back to where he kicked it from now. Going over the top, miscommunication there. It still sits up for Cameron Orr, though. I believe it's Kobus Eloff. Yes, he is still out there. We haven't really seen too much of him throughout this game, whereas normally he is just a prominent figure in the Rebels lineup. Joe Powell now going back. Little knock on the ground, though. And that hurts for Matt Phillip and the Rebels. This was their opportunity to try and build up some pressure on the Reds, but still 6 points difference between the two sides. So anything can happen in the final moments of it by the looks of it. But yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are going to be back for 3 more games. And also, we've got that this game has been good apart from 100 kicks. And there it says Paddy Wagon. Yeah, we've got the 3 games tomorrow. Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica, Hurricanes versus Highlanders, and then followed by the game that has taken place between the Waratahs and the Western Force. We will be covering all 3 of those. Alongside that, we have got the 7th circuit that is coming back. Toronto Sevens is going to be what we are covering there. And it should be a very exciting one to cover. You never know what's going to happen in Sevens. We did see Ireland beat Fiji in their opening game of the Sevens, but then Fiji went on, won every other game, and made themselves right through to the finals and became the Sevens champions. Now, ball fed in, nicely done here by the Reds. You know, some good meterage. It's going to be the advantage now. Tate McDermott trying to snipe his way through. Tries to run straight through the forward back. That wasn't going to work, unfortunately for him. And also after Kane says Paddy Wagon. Now, Tini Alatupo going to be playing halfback. It's a decent pass as well. Now, nice little pass or a nice little chip in behind, I was going to say, for James O'Connor, but now they're going back for the initial penalty. Okay, Queensland number 8 has been penalised there. Tini Alatupo, the big man with some big potential for his side. Tongan Thor, you don't get that nickname by being a bit 50-50 at times, I guess you could say, but it's another good grubber from O'Connor. He's seen the space in behind. It was well done in the end by, I believe it was the replacement hooker. Yes, it was. And also we have got the Upper Canes. And also, what team do you support? And as I says, Enron. But there, I believe she is a Chiefs gal, or she does at least. If she wasn't a Chiefs girl, She is very good at disguising as a Chiefs girl because she has been to quite a few games at FMG Stadium. And that's my wee story. Apparently Connor Vest has gone off the field, and now it will be a big Angus Scott Young who has made his way out there. Apparently get in the water and the Powerade. He chooses the water. Drink responsibly when it comes to Powerade, children, because it's got sugar in it, unless they have no sugar. And also the Chiefs and the Kings, right? And as it says, Betty Wagham, now passing the ball back across. It's going to be Faisler. Only 15 metres out. McDermott. Oh, it's been knocked down. It's a knock on there from the Rebels as well, though. And also the Chiefs in there, says Novmum, for a side. So I assume Moana Pacifica versus the Chiefs, the game that has taken place this weekend. Hang on. Is that at FMG Stadium? And if it is, are you going to that game as well, Novmum? Do let me know. I'm just going to have a quick look. Make sure that I've got the right game taking place at the right time. Yeah, Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica, FMG Stadium. Are you going to be possibly making an appearance for that game, perhaps? And also, I support the Chiefs and any team playing the Crusaders, says Novmum, for that matchup. But the Chiefs, they've actually got quite a few home games coming up. They have got the Brumbies at home. They've got the Western Force at home. Those are their two big ones. They've got, and also I support Canes, or Canes always first. And then I won't be watching, or won't be going to Poor. And this is Novmum. So I guess you will get to spend your time with myself, possibly, if you like. Should I wear the kit? I feel like I gotta wear the kit, won't I? And we will watch the game from home. And there says Novmum. The kit seems to give them luck. And if I don't wear the kit for that game and they lose to Moana Pacifica, then I'll really know that it is the kit that does jinx them a little bit. But now Tay McDermott hitting it up himself. He's willing to throw his body on the line, but sometimes it backfires, and that is one of those times. As getting straight on that ball, I believe it was Brad Wilkin. Yes, it was. Brad Wilkin gets the ball, and that is very nicely done by the Rebels. Still 20 minutes left in this fixture. Could go either way. Is easily going to be a last-minute thriller, as long as the Reds don't score again in the next, 5 seconds. Because if the Reds score again very soon, then the game's probably almost over. But currently the Rebels, they would get a bonus point the way that it's sitting out. The game being, I got electricity again. And then says Gareth, yeah, because it's been flooding for a long time, hasn't it, Gareth? And I know that the game between the Bulls and the Sharks, I think it was going to be, sadly, actually postponed for flooding, which isn't too good. So hopefully they can still have it take place, or unless it's just been cancelled maybe. Hamish is a Chiefs fan. I don't know whether or not I'm a complete Chiefs fan overall. I like the Chiefs very much, but I also like quite a few of the other New Zealand sides currently still attached at the back. He's hanging on to his shorts, and it's worked very nicely for the Rebels. Now currently sitting 22 metres out. It's still marching forward. Joe Powell is going to be available for this matchup, and was available to pass that one out the back line to Reece Hodge, who should score a try because his name starts with H. So we got there. This game, the game becoming a lot more interesting as the previous one. Is very true. Kicked him behind there. It's another one from Stacey Ely, although he's really had a half of that one, where that was Crichton at the back, and now the scrum feed going to be for the Rebels, only 10 to 15 metres out from the line. It turned out to be a decent kick from Stacey Ely, even though at first glance didn't look too flash at all. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. The Rebels, their rolling maul was very impressive, and I think they've learned a new tactic. It was Ma'afu who did end up just hanging on to the pants of one of his locks. And because he still had his hands on his shorts, he counts as being attached to the breakdown. So he did extremely well to do so. And also, if they don't play tennis as well. But Stacey Ely with a kick, and then from there, Crichton just drops it. He knows straight away that it didn't quite go the way that he would have wanted it to. Now, turnovers conceded. We've actually seen 14 for the Reds, 11 handling errors. Is huge for them. That is something that we really don't see normally. Well, but looking through at the other replacements that both sides can make, Kalani Thomas still yet to make his way out onto the field for the Reds. Alongside that, they've still got Sam Willis, I believe, for the Rebels. And Cameron Orr has already made his way out there. Now, waiting for that ball at the back. Matt Tamua. No, it's Vaihu. I was going to say that's a very aggressive run for Tamua, if it wasn't. But now Matt Phillip round the side. He's close. He's over. And Matt Phillip deserved the try, and he's got it as well. That will take the lead in favour of the Rebels. And everybody's celebrating that one for Matt Phillip. He has been great in this game. His name does not have that H in it. at the end of the first name, but second last letter of the last name will allow it. Matt Phillip does end up scoring the try. Is he a 1L or a 2L kind of guy? He is a 1L kind of guy, Matt Phillip. And that was a brilliant try for him between the sticks. Scores the try. Says, thanks very much for coming. We'll be taking the lead. Thank you very much. And now with only 20 minutes left in this game, that is a perfect time to strike if you are the Rebels. And also, they're going to be another close game. And yeah, and that is very true. And also, we have got there you go. Says Paddy Wagon. And also, we've got there true. I want to see Rebels steal it, says Paddy Wagon for that one. But Matt Phillip, second try in 2022. He's been impressive. They got the last little while, but there's going to be another opportunity for the Rebels to have a good chance of building. Now, if they want to take threes, it's fine. But if they don't take the threes from here and go for the corner, they might be able to get themselves a match winner. Speaking of the Rebels, they've hit back with a try instantly, or instead of the penalty kick, which is why we love it. We love the fact that they're being a bit more aggressive and they're a bit early to steal the game, but good, they are winning. And there's a 64 minutes through this game currently, 16 to go. And the Rebels, this would be a monumental win over the Reds. It would be the upset of the weekend, I would think. Unless, of course, I think the only one that would be bigger is Moana Pacifica beating the Chiefs. I think that's the only game that would be a bigger upset than this one. Or maybe Highlanders beating Hurricanes, but that's probably not that unlikely, to be honest, depending on how they play at Forsyth Bar. Now that ball has popped out the side and now it's available for the Reds, but great body position there from Joe Powell. Oh, that's got to be a penalty, doesn't it? No, not able to get one. He's asking how long have I got to stay on the ball for? Amelia will be happy. She certainly will be, as long as they do finish off this game well. Now going for the ball once again. Daniela Tupou, Tongan Thor, round the side of the breakdown here. Waiting for the opportunity. I'm currently going to look up and see what the odds are of this game, because with the Rebels currently leading, you would think that they wouldn't be sitting too badly in terms of those odds compared to the Reds. Currently, the Reds to win is paying $1.50, and then the Rebels to win is paying $2.50 for that one as well, by the looks of it. And now currently, the Rebels, they give it off now. Or Daniela Tupou going for a good tackle on him by Andrew Callaway, who tried to slow the ball down just a little bit. Strategic. The referee didn't pull him up for it, and it gave them just a little bit more time to set their defensive line. Currently now still on the side of the Reds. 10 phases in. Angus Scott Young picks it up. Plays for Bay of Plenty in the Bunnings NBC, and that is coming back in only a few months' time as well. The Chiefs game tomorrow should be a good tester for Moana Pacifica, since the short turnarounds has got them battle-hardened and walking weary. And there's Sammy Sosa, and yeah, they'd love to be able to get themselves a win. That is for sure. Now around the side, Harry Wilson getting out up there, trying to force it back. It's in the hands, though, of the young number 19. Oh, he went for the offload. That wasn't the time for it. Now it's back on the side of the Reds. That was a mistake, and that is just a lack of experience from Josh Cannon. Probably should have taken the contact, but now James O'Connor, it's back on the side of the Reds. I want Reds to win, so Crusaders go down to 4th. Oh, brutal, but possible in this match. That is for sure. Now McDermott going short side. Fraser. Oh, in fact, it's Angus Scott Young. Fraser McWright, he is about to receive that one. Pops up Daniela Tupou. You do not stop that man. From there, he does the cannonball almost, or the belly flop onto the ground for the Tongan Thor. And they do score it. Right, there was a blow of the whistle there. I'm not too sure whether or not that is some sort. Oh, a bit of a scuffle. Okay, that's why he's blowing the whistle so much. Well, that one, he might be checking the TMO for this one. But Daniela Tupou scoring the try for the Reds. Okay. So I think Tate McDermott was asking the question of whether or not he was hit late. But I think it was just perfect timing on him. Oh, no, it was Canham who did end up making the tackle on him afterwards. But now with that try, the Rebels, they are now paying $8 to be able to go on to win. That is huge, with the fact that they aren't actually going to be 7 points behind. And unseen, not like the Satyrs. And there as well says Paddy Wagon. Currently straight out in front. It is going to be a big opportunity for the Reds to be able to possibly convert here. Effing keep working. They just said in that belly flop, yeah, he didn't really care, did he? He just slammed himself down on the park. But that has gone over. So the score currently is sitting 31 in favour of the Reds, 25 in favour of the Rebels. I'm still surprised that the Rebels are so Oh, no. Okay, now they're only paying $4.40. So I think someone just realized that those numbers didn't add up. I think they thought that maybe they would be 8 points behind. And I was like, oh, what the hell, Rebels, despite it being played at AAMI, there still will be an upset. They still have time to turn this around. And there's Sebastian and also why Eva. Would you think that? And then saying unseen a lot. You seem to not like the Crusaders. And there's yeah, I think a majority of the country don't enjoy the Crusaders that much. Wow, that was almost a charge down there. And he's just committed himself. I think he got kicked in the face for that one, which wouldn't have felt too nice. Now Matt Timor puts the ball up high, staying down currently. I think it's Andrew Callaway. Ball bouncing back on the side of the Reds. Now flicking it out the back. It almost sits up. A great take from Fraser McWright. He's got the space. Wide cutout pass. This is going to be try time for the Rebels. And this could be the dagger on the coffin. Brilliant counter ruck or counter play from the Rebels. And once again, from the Reds, I should say, the Rebels just cost themselves a good chance there by kicking the ball away. Sometimes it just doesn't change, unfortunately, but that is going to be a nice try there. The Rebels, they haven't even got the last try for the Reds updated, but now it is. It was. In the end, Fraser McWright flicked it out the back. And that's the thing, the Rebels, they were playing with less men in behind, so it made no sense to kick that. Andrew Callaway normally would be back there to try and cover. He's not there. And now Fluke able to score it. 2 tries in 10 minutes, I think they just said, but it's 2 tries in 2 minutes at the moment for the Reds. And that will be a tough one for them. But Callaway stays down here by the looks of it as well. Although also, in a way, Crusaders defeat means the other 11 teams have a chance to win the tournament in there. And also they have to take a kick. Have to take a kick to the face. And try, boom, 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 boom. And there as well says Sebastian. Oh, Sebastian. That sounded like I was losing me a voice a little bit there. And also I got confused when, and there says Betty Wagon. Yeah, sorry, I was saying the wrong side quite a few times, wasn't I? But it was the Reds who scored it. And I was like, well-worked try and what seems to be a game of two halves with the Rebels pulling further. That's going away. You said Rebels. I was about to be happy, then realized you said Reds. Yeah, sorry about that one. That wouldn't have been too nice. All right, got you all excited for it, and then I got the wrong side in me mind. And now it's a great pass from Fraser McWright. He is my man of the match. If I was allowed to pick one, unfortunately, I'm not allowed to pick one though because I'm not in charge. But now they've got a lead of 11 points here for the Reds. There's still over 11 minutes left though. That's the big thing. And the Rebels currently to win this game are paying $26. So that's changed just a little bit from the last time, hasn't it? They're now currently going to be trying to drive themselves forward. They're up to the 22 though. This isn't looking too bad for the Rebels. Canham gets that ball nicely. Still available. I misheard you there, says Sammy Souza. Well, that one, and yeah, I think I did say the wrong name about 3 times, didn't I? It's a penalty to the Reds. Damon's got the wrong arm up. Damon, who are you giving the penalty to? He's giving it to Harry Wilson. Okay, that makes more sense. Now the Rebels go up to $31. It's just going from bad to worse at the moment for the Melbourne Rebels here. And the Melbourne Rebels, they just went in from the side, so it was a big mistake for them there. It was a Ma'afu who did end up giving away that penalty in the breakdown. But now the clock slowly keeps on ticking down. 11 points difference. Good kick downfield from the Reds, and they will have the line out from about 40 metres out. Harry Wilson, he's had a good game so far here. Territory game, 27.3 metres. They've got there as well. But currently the Reds, they are sitting on 25. The Rebels sitting on 25s. I feel like Reb versus Red has got me really confused between these two sides. Oh, okay. That's a penalty to the Rebels there because they did the wrong thing. I think they ended up not going off the mark. So because of that, it's got themselves in a bit of trouble. It's a counter ruck there for the Reds, but Joe Powell just keeping it. Did he join the breakdown? That's the bigger question for that one. But Brad Wilkin wrestled down. They are fighting hard as if they want to try and get themselves. Oh, it's another penalty to the Reds. And I believe that is a match winner because if they end up getting this 3 points over, they'll be ahead by 15 points. That's a lie. It will be 14, but it will be 2 converted tries that they will need if they do want a chance of being able to go. A dangerous play once again. And this time it's stinging like a bee. The best thing to do is stick it in a lemon. Don't do that. That will hurt 10 times worse. Oh, okay, they're chasing the bonus point here for the Reds. They want a home game at Suncorp for their quarterfinal matchup. They do kick it well. It's a nice spiral kick from James O'Connor, but Brad Wilkin was wrestled down in the end. Ma'afu, that's twice, unfortunately, that he has been in trouble in the breakdown. Brad Wilkin, he can't quite believe it. He was thinking, is it me who's being penalised there, referee? The ref was like, no, you're all good. It's just your teammate. But now it will be Matt Fazer, like they're saying, forever contesting. Brilliantly done by the Rebels. Once again, get the ball back only a few metres out. Squeeze some lemon juice on the sting and add some salt for extra healing. And there's Sebastian. There you go. Is it actually? No, you're not supposed to. There is something that you're supposed to put salt on. And don't say chips, but like for like a body injury or something, you're supposed to put salt. It's probably when I'm thinking about like when people have lost like a whole heap of like water from sweat. It's gone backwards. The Rebels doing well. Get them back, and they get the penalty now for the Melbourne Rebels. They are still trying in this game. And even though the time is running low, there still seems to be a little bit of fight. And then, bro, you might hear me, Seb. And there's says Paddy Wagon. And also, you said Rebels. And there, or you might hear me say, yeah, I mean, if all the way from Romania, you know, it's probably a painful cut. Oops, I was trying to write "ol" in a text and I said milk. There we go. Right, they are just checking on Richard Hardwick at the moment. Looks like he's got some sort of injury possibly lurking for him. I was thinking about salt and lemon. I think now, I'm now thinking about seafood instead of wounds. And yeah, it sounds all right, doesn't it? Nice little bit of trout maybe with a bit of fish. Well, that is fish. A little bit of something on top, you know, a little bit of a squeeze. Come on, the Rebels. Says what I know there. Is that a picture of, is that Marnus Labuschagne, is it? Maybe. It might not be, though, so I don't want to put him up just in case it's the wrong person. I'm going to very quickly do it. Yeah, it is Marnus. And that one, and he will be excited to get himself back out there for Australia in a future tour. But currently now it looks like Richard Hardwick will have to go off the field here. And salt is a natural disinfectant. Obviously, it hurts, but you put salt on a wound. But it is, because it works, it's magic. And then, yeah, it is, says what I know. And so, favourite Australian player for cricket? Is it Marnus or is it someone else? Do let me know. Then we'll go like this. And we'll go like this. The referee's saying, come on, boys, what's happening? Well, there's a player still down who is quite sore, and Richard Hardwick. So he gets to make his way off the field now, and replacing him, it is going to be Josh Hill. And also, I have other ways of healing, says Paddy. And also, why do the Rebels kick so many penalty goals, says Rhino? It's a good question because they always seem to want to kick the ball back to your opposition, but normally a key in rugby is more possession. So if you have less, it's very tricky to win a game. Also, nice trout and fish. Sounds nice as well, says Paddy Wagon. It does indeed. Sounds like a decent feed. I think for tea tonight, I'm probably just having chips. And also, it sure does. I used to clean my teeth often during brushing and rinsing. And there's our Sesame Sosa. Oh, so is that like, oh, actually, now that I think about it, that's for like if your gums are sore or like cut, isn't it? That you have to have salt water. Even though it sounds like it would be a terrible process, but it just kind of does it. Okay. Carter Gordon, I think, is coming on for Josh Hill. Yep, Josh Hill has to go off the field now for another, I think it's an HIA, I would think. But Josh Hill off, Carter Gordon on now. And now a little bit of rearranging will have to take place for the Rebels, because if they're taking off a forward to bring on a back, theoretically, I don't think they're going to be chucking up Carter Gordon in the line out, although maybe they do. See how he goes. Currently 73 minutes through this game. Still a little bit of time left for the Rebels, but if they want to fight back, they need to fight back right now. Yeah, you rinse your mouth with salty water for gum issues, toothaches a lot. And there's Sebastian. It's weird, like, the way that things work, isn't it? Like lemon for a throat and all that kind of thing. Salt water definitely helps with the gums. And there's Sammy Sosa. Yeah, it probably doesn't help with the taste-wise, but, I mean, if it helps, you know? You risk it for the sting, but then for the fix. That wasn't a sentence. Now, rolling more opportunity here for the Rebels, trying to stop Ryan Smith from making his way straight through. He's getting very close. It's an advantage now to the Rebels. Still only 6 minutes left. That's going to be short side. Joe Powell after Matamua. Now, Fraser McWright, his body position is just sensational. And he's been able to get that turnover. But they will be going back for the initial penalty. It looks like Resodge. Do they kick this one for the corner? They sure do. And they know that they've got to rush it just a little bit, but not too much, because Ma'afu still has to try and line up the next kick. Now, like they're saying, 6 meters out. Here we go. Right, currently they're rolling more here for the Rebels. Who's got it? It's Ma'afu going down just short of the line. He's going to be held up, but the ball is available. Joe Powell goes back to Matt Phillip. Reaching, trying to get over the line. Kobus Eloff, no. He's going to be just held up short. No, he puts it down. It's a try. Kobus Eloff scores. And Googling salt water. Let's clear your throat, apparently. And there's Rhino as well. But Kobus Eloff has done the goods again for the Rebels. This man does not avoid an opportunity to score tries. And he always is there. And it's going to be Eloff scoring about his 4th try of this season, if not maybe more. And it's going to be an awesome opportunity for the Rebels to be able to fight back. And also a whole mouth clean, indeed, despite the leftover salty mouth. And as I said, 70 Souza, see, that's the thing. Like, if you've got a toothache or something like that, you're like, ugh, this tastes bad. It's bad salt water. I just have some sugar to fix it. But then that normally contradicts it, doesn't it? Currently now, I'm going to check those odds. Okay, now the Rebels to win this game, I can't believe they're $13 for being 6 behind. It's literally 1 converted try. Okay, now it goes down to $8.50. I think the TAB are listening to me with where to put the odds for this game. But currently, they're only 4 points behind. They don't even need it converted for them to be able to get themselves into this game and win it for the Rebels. Just a try will do it. And the game is on in the last few minutes. It certainly is. Only 4 points different, similar to what we saw in the earlier game between the Crusaders and the Blues. It's taken nicely by the Rebels now, and they continue to try and drive themselves forward just a little bit more. Joe Powell across. Goes it back, Matt Amor. This is a massive opportunity for the Rebels to be able to really push themselves forward against a side that a lot of people said that they would have been ruled out up against. Now still going there. Matt Amor passes it wide. Kobus Eloff finds the offload back. Now Stacey Ely. Ball on the outside to Matt Phillip. Pop pass on the inside. George Worth almost going through. Now 40 meters out, Joe Powell. Now it's gone down to $5 for them to be able to win this game. The Rebels still available for Stacey Ely. Now Joe Powell fires it out the back line. It's going to be Andrew Callaway. He runs straight at Filippo Dalgunu, which is not very easy at all. Now it's become a rolling maul. Now he's dragged down. Ball available at the back, 35 meters out, 3 minutes left in this game. Rebels need a try for the win unless the Reds shut them out. Yeah, it's going to be a massive moment for them. Carter Gordon, short pop pass. It's been dropped. And I just popped like I was a popcorn there with my voice. The pop pass did not work out. Joe Powell, offside. They're going back for the scrum. And also, if you're camping in the wild, you don't have access to salty water for a possible toothache, can you figure out what you should rinse with? Uh-oh. Yeah. See, for a start, I was thinking of like the other thing, and then I realized exactly what you were referring to. And also, come on, Rebels, make Amelia happy, says Betty Wagon. And also, Rebels need a try for the win, says Sammy Souza. And currently only 2 minutes left. If they win themselves a penalty here, the Rebels, it would be absolutely huge for them here. But currently, I will mention in 2 minutes' time, we are actually going to have a guest on the channel. It will be myself, and it will be another YouTube creator. You guys might know him. I think you guys do know him. If quite a few of you will know exactly who it was. He was in the chat earlier on. And now it will be the scrum feed for the Reds. 2 minutes left in this one. The bonus point, 32 points for the Reds. Or the Rebels, sorry. Oh, he's a Powerade. I think that's a red Powerade or an orange Powerade for Angus Blythe. I actually tried a green apple E2 the other day. It was sensational, but I learned it's got 75 grams of sugar, so not exactly good for the soul. But now that one's going to be back, almost stolen there in the breakdown. Now Hunter Paisami with a bit of crash ball. Joe Powell trying to get straight in there. They've only got a minute and a half left that they do need to defend for here. And like they're saying, the Reds, they do need to stay up in the breakdown. Kalani Tom's trying to wear down the clock. This is risky for the Reds, though, because they are currently playing only a little bit out from their line. And also, what a game, lad, says the Wettest Willie. It is a very close one. Now going short once again. There's still a long time left, and I think eating sand gives you superpowers in there, says Rhino. I mean, it's questionable. And I'll say, yep, that guest of yours, I might be a Blues fan, hint. And there, as I says Sammy Souza. But currently now, Kalani Thomas here is going to be passing it back across to Harry Wilson. Still another 50 seconds left. If they give away the penalty, they are going to be in some trouble. Still waiting for the opportunity here. Taniela Tupou, Tongan Thor. 40 seconds is still a long time for like 6 phases that they're going to have to do here. If they do want to hang on to it, Angus Scott Young has his ankles taken out low, right on the ball for the Rebels. No, it's not a penalty. And now still another 16 seconds left. It looks like they want to give it back to Tongan Thor. 22 meters out, trying to get that ball turned over. I think the Rebels are going to be able to get the penalty. It looks good. No, it's going to pop back out on the sides of the Reds. Still one last opportunity, one more phase. It's called as a held-up maul. The ball, no, it's not. They have to release them. I'm getting too excited currently. Only one last phase. The Rebels trying to turn it over. It's an advantage to the Reds. And with that, the siren sounds. They will be kicking this ball out. And it's another game of Super Rugby Pacific. Oh, no, that man's gone down on the seats. That wasn't a nice landing for him. But that is going to be another 1-point game for that one. And come on, Red says no moment. Also, if the Rebels win, it will be craziest moment of the results we've ever seen. And also, pain and more pain. We were so close it was. But that will be one heck of a vlog for yourself, Xavier. But what I will quickly do is I will put the score line at the bottom of the screen. We will go like that. We will go like that. And we go like this, then add that, then go like that, then through some magic, I go like this, I go like this, and boom. Hello, mate. How are you going?
Hello, how are you? All good, all good. What a game that was. What a game. I mean, that was a...
Yeah, I see those Blues and Crusaders kits in the background. You would have been happy with that result of the last game.
I was just over the moon. I mean, that result is just, it's been a long time coming. I mean, as a Blues fan, that was just, that was just, I was just so excited. I mean, I wanted to cry really for that result, but I was just so injected. I was like, yes. But no, it was good. It was a good win, and obviously helps the Blues, top of the leaderboard at the moment, going into the round 10, which is obviously where the Australian and New Zealand sides meet. So yeah, pretty good. Pretty excited about that.
I guess big question next week. We got 6 games. Which one are you looking forward to the most?
I'll be honest. I think the biggest game out of all of the games I've seen so far is probably Hurricanes versus Reds. I think that's the one that kind of intrigues me the most, from an Australian and New Zealand point of view. Yeah. But I mean, as a Blues fan, of course, I'm gonna enjoy every Blues game that I watch. But I do think the Hurricanes Red is probably the best one to watch, in my opinion.
And just as a little nice prelim, you got Blues Fiji and draw
exactly
on the same day.
Yeah, I'll do live streams for both those matches. So pretty good. It'll be a good weekend next week.
And also, Rugby Itch says Betty Wagon, and also Rugby Itch says Senza there. And Sammy Sosa said, and the Reds hold them out for the win, just like the Blues against the Crusaders. Yeah, another game that was only separated by 4 points, which is not exactly a huge amount.
It was very good. I mean, the Rebels have been really improving throughout the last couple of rounds, really. With wins obviously against Fiji Duria and then the Western Force, and they almost beat the Reds, but I guess the Reds just had it in them just because they had the bye as well. They were kind of, I guess, a bit more fresh going into this game, so maybe that had it, but. Maybe you could say it the opposite way, where the Rebels also had a lot of games under their belt, so it's vice versa, really. But fair play to the Rebels. But I just think the Reds are, in my opinion, are just by far the best team in Australia. That could be, maybe you could have an argument with the Brumbies, but I just think that from a depth point of view, Reds are just hands down the better team. But it's been good. It was a good watch. It was a very good watch.
Because the big thing is 32 points wins you a lot of games.
Indeed.
Scoring 32 in this game for the Rebels to miss out, I'm glad they get at least the bonus point, because they deserved at least the bonus point for this game. If not, maybe you could argue maybe they deserved a few more points at times. They were very impressive. Just a couple gifted tries to the Reds for that one. Like that interception pass, that was giving me those Wallabies versus All Blacks games from the Bledisloe.
Yeah. Even the first try in the match, like it was just one of those unlucky phases of play, like where it just, you kick it long and then, just the luck of the bounce comes to you and then, you just pass it to a clear man open and then you score the try in the corner. So it's just those little things that go against you that obviously just kind of dictates the game. So, but yeah, no, the Reds got the job done, and obviously that'll be a good thing for them because obviously going into next week against the Hurricanes, it's I'd say definitely a tougher game going into it. So to have a win under their belt is just, it's much needed.
Exactly right. Teniela Tupou, bit of an impact off the bench for that game, Big Tong and Thor. Right. We hardly saw Vunivalu, did we?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Vunivalu, he's normally in the game for any game that he plays for the Reds, but this time he was nowhere to be seen. I mean, he didn't even get a lot of touches on the ball, to be perfectly honest. I mean, he was more like, I saw more of it on Jock Campbell, I'd say Jordi Bataya. They had more of the possession really throughout the game, but then I agree with you fully. I didn't really see much of Vunivalu.
So man of the match, and also we'll go actually player of the match for the Rebels, player of the match for the Reds. Who are you going with?
Oof.
I'm going to have a quick look through at the lineups to refresh my brain.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually impressed by Matt Phillip. I mean, for the Rebels, he's probably one that kind of shoots out immediately just because he's a very notable player for the Rebels and for the Wallabies, of course. And he had a good game, obviously, getting a try, I believe, for himself as well. So, and he did pretty well for the Rebels within the lineout. So I have to say, so yeah, I think I have to say Matt Phillip for the Rebels. For the Reds, I mean, there's a lot of players I can actually give it to because I don't know. I mean, I kind of like Tate McDermott, what he did within that first half. I mean, he kind of injected his normal self for getting a try or two normally in any game he plays. But I think I don't know. I kind of liked I'm forgetting his name now, but the number 6 who started for the Reds,
Connor Vest, is it?
Yeah, I kind of liked him a bit. I don't know why, but I kind of siding with him. But if I'm being perfectly honest, I think Tate McDermott was probably the one that caught my eye the most.
Yeah, so I'm going Fraser McRae.
Fraser McRae. I mean, he's the other one who I thought. It's just that, I mean, he's everywhere. He's like an Artis Sevilla, like where he's everywhere within the game. He's great within the breakdown. So yeah, no, totally agree with that.
We have got G'day Rugby from David the Mod, and also didn't even need to know who it was. You mentioned that he was briefly in the chat. Says Sammy Souza. And the draw against the Blues should show how they will measure up against Kiwi opposition despite being the underdogs. And that's the thing. I don't think the Fijian draw are the side you really want as your first opposition.
I'm scared of that. That's a game I'm really scared of. Like, because Fiji Duria, like they're a team where like you feel like, oh yeah, this is their first time in Super Rugby where we'll easily just run through them like Moto Pacifica. It's not like that at all. Fiji Duria, I'll admit, are definitely a better team compared to they've had a better start than Moto Pacifica. So, and within the Australian Conference, they've been outstanding. I mean, I mean, I forget what his name is, but Hobolisi, like he's the Obosi, yeah. He has been like a breakout player, I'd say, for this year. So yeah, he's one that scares me a bit going into that game. But I mean, I think the Blues should get the job done. To be perfectly honest, I mean, I believe. I'm not sure what time actually that match is. I know, like for me, because in UK, it's around 8 a.m. here. But either way, Melbourne will be good. All the games there, Heritage Round, it'll be exciting. It'll be really exciting.
Because that's the other side of things. Fiji and Drua, for me, play the least like an Australian Super Rugby team.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, it doesn't give you any insight to your opposition the next week after. It's just pretty much almost a one-off where you've got to try and change your tactics and then go straight back to learning your other tactics.
I totally agree.
Their second game, I think I've got it here somewhere. Their next game after that, it is going to be up against the Western Force, followed by the Rebels, and then the Reds as their game. So it'll be a tricky one.
And what's even worse is that I don't believe that'll be the last game where we don't have Kellen Clark as well for that game as well. So because going off his red card. So it's not really. I'd love to have him, particularly in that game, because he could match up a few of the Fijians down the wing. But yeah, unfortunately, he's just not going to be able. available. But no, it should be good. It should be good either way. I'm excited for Fiji Duria. They're a great side actually to watch. I mean, they kind of just remind me of like every single game they play. It's just like watching like their sevens team. It's like just like just offloading every single time, just trying to find the open man. It's brilliant. It's what you love to see, and it's Fijian rugby, so it's great.
Yeah, that's only 1 week away that we will get to see the Fijian draw in action, and also the women's side up against the Waratahs, the only side to defeat the women in the Super W.
No,
that's going to be a massive opportunity.
Really good. I know a few people actually involved, a few girls actually involved within the Reds team, the Melbourne, and they've told me a lot about when they played. Like they're like wow, like they were astonished how technically from an offloading point of view how they were so good in that department. So yeah, they even told me that it's something that they have to try to work on because they keep getting sucked into like one particular player, so it's just easy to get the offload. So they're telling me just a bit like how like it's one of those where if they can space out a bit more, then it'll be a lot easier to defend. But I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, against any Fijian side, that's the plan. But if you can execute it, that's the other thing. That's the other thing to do it. But no, overall,
nonetheless, I guess that is almost going to be the end of Super Rugby Friday. We have got Super Rugby Saturday tomorrow. It is going to be first game Chiefs versus Moana Pacifica, Highlanders versus Hurricanes, and then after that, the Western Force taking on the Waratahs. That is the final game of the weekend. But I do thank you very much for coming on, Rugby Itch. We'll have to do this again at some stage, of course. And yeah, we'll have to see how we go for the Blues up against the Fijian Drua in their next matchup. Fingers crossed for you, mate. But yeah, hope you did enjoy all of the fixtures today, and hopefully you do enjoy the games tomorrow as well. But nonetheless, I guess thank you all very much for tuning in. I have no idea how to outro this. I think you've worked out how to say it. I had no idea what to say. And the Drua ladies have been amazing in Super W. It might be favourites to win it all, says Sammy Souza. And yeah, if they can get the win, it would be absolutely huge for them to be able to beat the Waratahs women's side. That game is 4 p.m. next week as well. So hopefully that will be an exciting one. And Blues thrilling win over the Crusaders. It sure was. Only 4 points difference. Same as this game that we did get to see. And Red's fantastic win too. Easy, mate. Sure. Yep. So I wonder whether or not we are going to get a couple more games only split by less than 5 tomorrow, or whether it will be possibly more one-sided. I think Chiefs Moana Pacific is definitely the one-sided fixture, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's definitely one-sided towards Moana Pacifica, of course, not to the Chiefs.
Yeah, of course.
Gosh.
Yeah.
But no.
I feel like they're gonna win now, aren't they? And people would send us this clip.
It'll be like 60-0. Like, oh, okay, never mind.
Because I mean, that's the thing. Chiefs coming off 25-0 loss to the Blues, maybe.
No, but it's going to be the opposite. It's like New Zealand. Like whenever they lose a game, the next game they go into, it's like, oh, they'll just win like by 40 points going into the next game. I don't feel good. I feel bad for Moana Pacifica really, because to play the Chiefs after not scoring any points in the previous match it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
It's going to be a tricky one. Yeah. That is for sure. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow. And yeah, we will see you all for the next one.